All right, how are you doing out there, Raider Nation? This is Captain Jack, and hopefully you can hear me. I'm looking at the transitions now. I'm waiting to see if there's issues with the sound. Hopefully not, because I know that if you can't hear me. Sounds great. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. That means that I can actually put the sound out and I can hear people. And wow, that makes me feel so good right now. And I want to thank Raider Homer for helping me out here. Hopefully we get some folks that are popping in. We got 5 watching, which is good. You know, that we can always... All right, Jerry Lopez, thanks for coming in as well. And if you can hear me and you've gone to the the show on Facebook, make sure you spread it out to everybody. Share it up. It'd be fantastic to get some people that are out there, and we can have people that are calling in. I mean, it'd be awesome because it's slowly going into a phase where it's all coming together. That hopefully that there won't be any glitches. I'm not going to say that there won't be, because the minute you say that it's not going to be doing something, then that immediately happens. So, you know, knock wood, but we're going to try to make it happen where, you know, we're not glitching. It's been a great weekend as a whole. I mean, we've already, as a football fan base, we've already figured out that we're 2-0 in the preseason. And what's more amazing about that is the way that we are 2-0. Thank you there, Ed. Thanks. I appreciate being welcomed back. It's awesome. As I said before, I enjoy doing the shows because it's positive, therapeutic, great things for me. And when I can make it happen, and that there's you know, when there's good things going on, it just makes me feel really great. And there's nothing that I like to do better than to tend to do that. You know, it's just hanging out with everybody. So without further ado, and good, the transition even worked there. I'm going to, as you can see, the numbers up there, so at least we know that the transitions are working, you know. And I'm going to put the numbers out over here, so not only can I see what's going on, I have a phone that I can see when people are trying to call in, and I can read the comments too, so we're good. Kendall, good to see you as well. I said I got transitions going, I got comments going, and I got Google Hangouts going. So if you want to call in, and let's make sure that we got the phones working as well. I'm really hoping that occurs. I know I should be able to hear it. So let's talk about the first 2 games. I mean, okay, let's not. Let's talk to Raider Homer. How you doing there, Homer? What's going on, brother?
Nothing much, man. You sound pretty good.
Well, I had a really good sound technician helping me out, so we figured that one out. And you know, I'm glad that we did that. And you know, hats off to you on that, and it makes me feel really good that I can actually put a show out. I've been wanting to do that, and I've been afraid of having the sound effed up like we tried to do it last week, and I said, well, we're gonna shoot for Sunday, and we did that. I mean, I did that Facebook show on Friday just to make sure that I would at least do a show and have people that were calling in. So my goal is eventually to again make sure that all those Facebookers come on over here, and that's what I'm hoping will happen eventually.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll happen, man. It'll happen.
Yeah.
Just take some time, you know.
Yeah, we'll go get there. Like I said, if we get everybody over there, to know that, like I said, we're going to have the shows like I had last year, as long as and again, this is the operative word, as long as I can download OBS to my, what do you call it, take with me computer, and that'll be the next thing I got to do. Because if that doesn't happen, then it's gonna be on. We'll have to work Facebook again, and I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that we have a to-go computer on OBS, and that'll be the next thing that I work on with you, Homer. Is I'll get my laptop out, and we'll plug in, and we'll do everything else the way it should be. And if we can do that, then I know I'll be good to go for the season.
Yeah, I'm working on that myself, getting a laptop so that I can do podcasts from the games and from the events that I go to.
Yeah, well, we're working it. We're working. I know at least that the OBS will be working on the shows when I come back, and I'm thinking maybe I'm going to have like a Tuesday aftermath show. Like I said, to go back to the Thursday shows, because again, Tuesday we'll talk about what happened on Sunday or Monday. Well, providing it's not a Monday game, I might have to bump the show to Wednesday. Like for the first game, it's a Monday game. I'm gonna be traveling all the way back on Tuesday, so my first after show for the beginning of the season would be on Wednesday. But then after that, figure Tuesday shows, Thursday shows, and Sunday shows if I get my OBS on the laptop, and we'll go from there.
Cool, man. I'd love to join you.
Well, hopefully so. Hopefully so. We'll have fun doing it, and I will say that I can't do YouTube via the live feed from a phone for some reason. I don't know why, but hey, I'll do live feeds from different things. Well, in fact, let's see that transition out, because you can't call now because I'm on the phone with you. I gotta make sure I do my transitions right. But it was fantastic to hear from you, Homer. You and I were both at Raider Nation Explosion this past weekend. By the way, if you haven't already dialed into Raider Homer's YouTube channel, Homer has a interview with myself and Raider Mob Boss. Is that on your page already, Homer?
Yes, sir. I posted it this morning.
Okay, well, there you go. If you want to have a nice interview of some of the comings and goings on of Raider Nation Explosion, be sure to go to Raider Homer's YouTube page. It's pretty easy to find. So if you don't already have Raider Homer on YouTube, shame on you. Make sure you go there, because then you get a dose of him, and you get a dose of me. So yeah, I mean, there's only so much of me you can take, but you got Raider Homer there as well.
Nah, man, I'm pretty sure they'd prefer you over me, man.
No, don't say that. But I tell you, Homer, we didn't really get a chance to talk. We talked about Raider Nation Explosion. And this is a very long. And normally I'm going to try to do like the 5 minutes, but I've been babbling. So you get another 4 minutes before I even begin to knock you out. You've seen both of the games on tape or live?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your impressions of the Raider groups, the A's and the ones and the twos? Yeah, and Jared's definitely. I'm definitely gonna show that, because Jared is a great guy. But what is your impressions of the ones and the twos for the first two games so far, Homer?
Well, I mean, they're coached very well. The roster is like Gruden keeps saying. He has the speed that he wants. He's got the size that he wants. So the weight, the training staff has changed. So that helps a lot too. It's key. They look fresh. They look in shape. They look like they know what the hell they're supposed to be doing. So I'm very impressed, man. I'm looking at my 10-6 prediction, and I'm thinking, man, I think that's going to be, attainable.
I hope you are correct. I am always a bit more pessimistic than most people because I should have been from Missouri or Misery if you actually lived there. Show me. They have showed me so far, but again, I think that the winning, 26-0 before the Cardinals even put any sort of points on the board. Again, you have to look. It is, in fact, the Arizona Cardinals, who the Raiders beat last year. So they're not a great team. I mean, they did have the first pick in the draft.
But, you got to think there were times, as a Raider fan, we all saw rookies come in and kick our ass. You know what I mean? That didn't happen with Murray, I mean, they wrapped him up, they kept him under check, and I think that's the key is like, we're not going to be losing those games to shitty teams anymore, bad teams anymore. I think we're going to have the edge on average teams, and the elite teams, it's going to be on Gruden to scheme against them and Gunther to put the players in position, to win, and stop the other offense. But I think, some of the upper tier teams will have a hard time, but the lower tier teams, we're not going to be losing to them anymore.
And again, I hope so as well. Remember, we got a very tight schedule. And Russ, I do see your comment about the AB helmet issue. We will get into that. But again, it's a matter of this team coming together and gelling. So far, I see that. Excuse me. I do see that with the ones and the twos. But you can also see that when it comes down to it, if the Raiders have a fallback out from their ones and twos, their starters and their immediate people that come in, the depth after that is very iffy. And again, I'm hoping, I'm not going to knock wood because I do not want to knock my sound and camera out. I swear if I do it, if I knock wood, I'm going to knock it out, and I'm not going to do that. But here, I'm knocking hand, which is wood, okay? Knock wood that the Raiders will continue to do this in the season. Remember, we are starting with 2 divisional games. The Monday nighter against Denver, who allegedly, and I say allegedly, is improved with Joe Flacco at quarterback. I mean, honestly, anybody is anybody except for me can play quarterback would be better for Denver. Okay, so that is an improvement for Denver. So we need to make sure that this is not just smoke and mirrors, that we come out there and we destroy, and I say that we destroy Denver on Monday night. Put them down, put the foot to the throat, and continue to dig in. Because then we have Kansas City that following Sunday, and I would like to be 2-0. I would like to be 2-0.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing is that, remember, you start going, you got at Indy, at Green Bay, you're flying across the sea to quote-unquote home game against the Bears. So the first 5 games that you get that bye at week 6, I want to at least be no worse than 3-2. I really do. I want to see 3-2 by the bye. That's what I want to see, and I think we can do it. I'm not smoking anything. I'm not full of myself, but I think we can do it. And do you think that is really attainable, Homer?
Yes. If you looked at yes, against the Cardinals, right? But Josh Jacobs was hitting a hole. That's what Gruden's offense needs, is a running back that can move the chain. You know, because you saw Derek Carr come out. What did he do? He take the two passes, right? Two passes. They ran the rest of the way. He did the jump ball to Williams, and then he did the little pitch out to I don't forget the other little wide receiver, and he ran it in, dude. But you know, defense. I mean, Gruden's scheme. You know, what he likes to do is run the ball first, eat up the clock, keep the defense, you know, on the sideline, and the other offense on the sideline. And with the running back, if Josh Jacobs holds up like he looks like he will, with that kind of running back, I mean, it's going to be attainable to get that. Well, you know, I think we need to be 5-3 by, you know, week 8. You know, because we can beat Kansas City. Last year in Oakland, we were in the game with them. It was just for those 3 fumbles. You know, those fumbles killed us. You know, but so we can compete with Kansas City. And Denver, I mean, Joe Flacco, I mean, the Ravens let him go for a reason. You know, so I think that we can come out 2-0, and then on the road, yes, it's always going to be hard dealing with Green Bay and Indianapolis, but the Bears, man, we went 12-4, and then we went, 6-10 or something like that? You know, so there's no guarantee that they're going to come back out and be able to play. So they could, you know, and they got to travel too. They're traveling across the pond also. You know, so, I mean, we can do it. We can do it. It's either Gruden, look at what they did, right? In the preseason, they played Saturday and then they played Thursday. So they're already kind of getting used to those weird schedules and being on the road, you know, or traveling, you know. Of course, every team does that, but I just think that they're going to be prepared because now, like in Gruden's press conferences, he was talking about they went the day before, right, or a couple of days before last year. But this year they're going to go the whole week ahead. You know, and me, you know, we were traveling across time zones the last couple of weeks ago. You know, and yeah, it took a toll on me when I came back home. You know, I'm staying up later. So I see how that affects the players, you know. So Gruden learned he's going to go at the beginning of the week, and they're going to have the whole week there to prepare. You know, and I think that, you know, Chicago is going to be, we're going to be able to handle them. Dude, I don't think they're going to be that good. That was just a fluke year. And again, with the Chiefs, everybody's like, oh, the Chiefs. Oh, Mahomes. Man, 50 touchdowns, right? That was a great season, but at least 25 of those were so tight. They were in such small windows that it's going to be hard to duplicate that, you know. And you saw LaMarcus Joyner, right? He had tight coverage. You saw him on the blitz to get safety and all this and that. He's going to take away that middle of that field that Mahomes likes to work, you know. I don't think he's not going to be that kind of guy when Mahomes runs to the sideline. He just runs over there and chases him and leaves his guy over, and then Mahomes throws the ball back in the middle of the field. All that backyard football crap is going away. So 2-0, you know, we can do that. And I just think we're going to end up 3-3 on the road because that is a hell of a road trip.
You got it. Well, it is. Like I said, I'm not poo-pooing the season. I think that we have a really good opportunity. I want to see how we come out, like I said, at the bye week. I want to see what that team looks like. Even if we're 2-3 at the bye. Let's just say we're 2-3 at the bye. I want to see how the team has actually performed. Because if we've been in some close games and we've been dictating the action and we haven't been getting stomped, and the other thing I want to see is I want to see a win in London because the Raiders have gone to London twice and have gotten embarrassed each time.
Yeah.
They were embarrassed by the Dolphins. They were embarrassed by the Sea Chickens. I do not want to see that. I want to see a good game. I want to see a big fat W against the Bears and 50 who. That's what I want to see.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's coming. I'm telling you, 10-6 it's something that we can reach. You know, we can get to that and get the wild card, you know, spot and then compete in the playoffs. Man, I mean, Gruden I'm telling you, I've been saying it all along. Gruden knows how to coach. You know, I know it looked weird, you know, what he had to do as far as disassembling the roster, and it made for a horrible season in last year, 2018. But Gruden can coach, man, and I think, you know, it started, you know, when he got rid of Mac, right, and he had all that cap space and the picks and all that, and then free agency started, and you saw why he did that. He was thinking ahead. So Gruden's thinking ahead. He's that kind of coach. He's not just the kind of coach that just cusses on the sideline and has a bunch of great clips and things like that. he does that because he's passionate, and he knows the game well enough. He gets frustrated when his players don't know. So he's looking for players, regardless of their experience, that still understand football and crave football knowledge, and then so that he can teach them what to do easier, quicker. He's not getting lazy players.
Okay, now I have to do this. If you want to knock out the caller, I love him to death, but the motherfucker has been talking a lot. Okay. If you want to knock out the caller, the number is listed 813-699-0834. And again, it is always good about what's going on. Again,
I see the Raider critique in there in the comment section. Come on, critique, come on.
There you go.
Knock me out, buddy.
Knock him out. And I know Ed's going to call in a bit too. And Mike Arline, thanks for that. I did saw Russell was talking about, he wanted to talk about the Antonio Brown helmet issue. So I know somebody's going to talk about it, whether it's going to be critique or anybody else. We will talk about that because there is some issues there. And
I think that's like a superstition thing. That's all it is. Yeah, it is becoming a distraction. But I mean, the dude's still going to come and play. He's still going to play, and he's going to dominate. And like you saw the jump ball with Williams that caught through to him. He is going to help Antonio Brown get open. They're not going to know what to do on the defense. What do? You got Josh Jacobs running into holes like that in between the tackles. And then you got Renfro. You've seen a lot of footage of him already. He's doing well. And then you got and Waller was doing well too. I'm expecting big things out of him. But the two wide receivers on the outside, AB, because he knows how to sit down in the hole on the defense. He can find those holes in the defense, and Carr knows how to deliver the ball. And AB is not going to give up on a long ball like Cooper did. I'm telling you, dude, this is going to be a juggernaut offense.
Night and day. Homer, it is great hearing from you, partner. I am gonna open it up, and we'll see what anybody else. Now, Homer, give me what's the record going to be for the Raiders at the break at that first bye? What's the record going to be?
What is that? What do you got to buy a week? Were you saying 2 and 3? I'll go with that. I'll go with what you were saying.
Week 6.
Well, I have to look at the schedule, but I think we're going to open up 2-0. I think that we'll probably maybe 2-4, 2-2, because it's Indianapolis and Green Bay after that, right?
Yep.
And then Chicago.
So
I think 3-2. 3-2.
Okay. Homer's called 3-2. We're gonna hold him to that. This is recording, and it actually is recording because you can hear it and hear me, and we're very happy about that. Hey, Homer, thanks again, partner, for calling in. I appreciate all your help on that. And then I said this next week we'll get. Now that we got this squared away, at least for right now, we'll get my laptop squared away too, and we'll go from there.
All right, cool.
All right. Thanks again for calling in. Say best to your daughter. Tell him that Captain says hello.
Oh, yeah. She said hi earlier.
All right. Well, you take care, shipmate, and be well.
All right. You too.
All right. Bye. That was Raider Homer. Again, if you haven't done so already, make sure you check out Raider Homer's podcast with myself and then everybody else. We got some other folks coming. I know Jared's going to call in, but he said that he's going to wait. Critique, okay, there you go. So I got Raider Critique that's going to call in. Jared's going to call in. I know Ed's going to call in. Chris Donnet, you can definitely call. Chris, I want to have and Jimmy Farrell's here too. So good, we got a lot of the crew in. That's always good to know. Again, if you're watching, make sure that you go to my Facebook page or do this. Get the link that you're watching right now. Push it on Facebook to everybody. Tell people to come on over. I want to make sure we have a big discussion. If you're watching on YouTube, take a second, go to Facebook, get yourself on a link and push it out to all those Raider groups, and we'll go from there. My hat, Jimmy, I tell you, I have a shit ton of hats right here. But, and I kind of said it earlier, I've been busting my ass today. I was over at my mom's house and doing some work, getting more things in and out of the house, little by little, bit by bit. and I was dead tired and I'm dead stanky. And again, I have my hair up just to make sure I wasn't as sweaty. I will put any hat on that you want. That's a Raider hat, I should say. Yeah, I will put any Raider hat on that you want. If you need to see me with a hat, I will get the hat. Get the vid. Which video was that? Which video, Jimmy? I saw a couple of your videos that you pushed. I'm still waiting on a caller though. Oop. Yep, call. I don't have to knock out the caller. I can put that one off. So there, we'll do transition. Call now, 813-699-0834. I'm just sitting here. I'm in a great mood of the stadium. Of the stadium? No, I don't recall seeing that one. No, I apologize, Jimmy. I didn't see a video of the stadium. But I mean, I know Chris Donnet. I believe Chris Donnet knows one of the gentlemen that's actually working at the stadium. So we'll go there. Call now, 813-699-0834. I know that Critique is supposed to call in. I know Jared's going to call in. I know Jimmy Farrell will. I know Ed will. Again, take this link, push it to all those people on Facebook saying, hey, man, you're missing out. Okay, I'm not sure who this is. Who am I speaking to? Hello?
Hey, Captain, this is Russ.
Hey, good to see you there. Oh, wait a second, Russell. Somebody else is calling in, and they don't know if when I know it. Critique, you're going to have to wait because I have a deal that first come, first serve, and Russell called in first. I'm going to make sure that I put you. Is this a new phone for you, Russ?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, because I had you down, and I sometimes when I see a number that I don't recall or I don't see, I'm kind of leery to add it because I used to have, or I should say, yeah, those folks that are the trolls. So I'm going to put you in here. So
go ahead and
hopefully it'll be a there you go. You're already in here. Update. Yeah, I'm updating the contact.
There you go.
This is the now. I take it the other number is non-existent.
The old number, yeah, that's right.
Okay, so I'm going to get rid of that one. Okay, and I'm going to save this one. So you are in here, big guy. Outstanding. Go ahead.
All right. Well, you probably noticed that I put in the chat about AB and the helmet. I actually think it's a bunch of crap. I sort of think that it's a smokescreen for the feet issue. I think that by focusing in on his little whining thing about the helmet, the seriousness of the frostbite, the damage that he did to his feet, is not coming to the mind because the helmet he's going to deal with, he's not giving up the money, but his feet and not being able to make the cuts, I think that is the bigger issue.
I actually agree with you, and I was thinking the same thing. It's like he's trying to do a smoke and mirrors or don't look at my hand, don't look at my hand, don't look at my hand while the other one is doing this, I agree with you because he hasn't been on the field. His feet are hurting him. I mean, he's trying to be like, oh yeah, man, I'm okay. Don't sweat it. Well, no, it's the helmet thing, and let's do all this, that, and the other thing. I agree with you in that respect that the feet are a concern more than he is letting on. I agree with you there. And I'm glad you said it because I was about ready to say I'm a bit more concerned about how he's actually going to look. And I think it's going to be a bit of a, I don't want to say it's going to be a bit of a letdown, but I think it's going to take him a while, even though he has that good rapport with Carr that he started in the off season. I think that it's going to be a while for him to get in better sync. Chris reminds us that he wasn't supposed to play in the preseason, and I agree with you there, Chris. But again, I think this is kind of smoke and mirrors that maybe it's affecting him a little bit more than he's letting on. I agree. And Critique, when people call in, they get at least 5 minutes. So when it says knock out the caller, then you got to be quick, quick, quick. So go ahead, Russ.
Okay. Listen, I think that AB is not wanting to get put on the injured reserve list. I think that the feet are going to take him out for a while, and I think that if people are looking at the helmet, he doesn't want to go on like a 2 to 4 week that he's not going to be able to hit the field. And I think that's what this is all about.
Yeah. And now the latest is that the helmets that were brought forward were not certified were not certified by the NFL. And I think the NFL is playing some games too, because the NFL said as long as they had a helmet that was less than 10 years old, that they would certify it. Well, they got a few that were less than 10 years old, but now they're saying, no, we're not going to certify it for NCSFAE or whatever the hell the acronym is, standards. You can't tell me that one of those helmets, not one of those helmets that were given for AB, you can't tell me that not one of them can't meet standards. I think that's a bunch of crap too.
I think you're right. Once again, when Papa NFL wants to put the foot down and they're looking bad, they're not going to change. And not to mention, we're talking about the Raiders, and time it has to go with the decision's going to go with the Raiders. We know where it is.
Yeah. Well, remember now when the Raiders were the Raiders of the 70s, even the late 60s and the 70s, even when we were getting every penalty in the book called against us, we were still a better team, and we fought through the adversity of all the bullshit calls that the NFL gave to us. So we have to be a better team to be able to be above the bullshit calls. And I think that this team is ascending to that. And eventually, by 2020, by 2021, we're going to be a better team where we will still be able to kick ass, take names, and even though they're going to be calling bullshit calls against us, we will still have the wherewithal of the players and the production to win games despite the officials. Remember, I always say the Raiders don't play 11 on 11. They play 11 on 21.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love Mayock just having that quick little press conference today. Boom, AB, we're going to it. He's got to come in. That's what we want. That's what we want in a GM. We want those, just no more crap. The players we respect them, we love them, we're always going to be there for them, but now it's time to get back to work. So we got to find out. We're going to find out, I think, early this week if AB is coming back into the fold, or if the Raiders may have to make a decision.
Yeah, I think he will. I think he'll come into camp. I was told that, of course, the scroll on BSPN. Yes, I did say BSPN. The scroll on BSPN was that he was doing the workouts and he was close. According to them, he was close to coming in for the regular scrimmages in camp. I think it's going to happen. Remember, Game 3 is the most important game in preseason anyway. That's when you get the most work, because Game 4, you have guys that are saying, are you going to be on this team, or are you going to be bagging groceries at Albertsons the next week? So
absolutely. Game 3 sort of is kind of confusing too, because I'm already hearing complaints about the field up in Winnipeg that the first team may not go anyway. So we'll have to watch out. But Captain, I love making the call in. Love your show. I'll plan to be a frequent caller.
Thank you there, Russ. Make sure you push this to all your buddies that the captain is back. And I want to make sure to get all those Facebookers, get them the hell off of Facebook and get them over to YouTube, brother.
You got it.
All right. Great talking to you, Russ. We'll see you hopefully soon.
All right, buddy. See you soon.
All right. That's Russ. That's my boy, Russ Giambrone. I want a great guy. Great to have him as a bud. And, what can I say? I miss my locals. Mike Arline was out there. And, guys that are here locally. And since I'm going to be doing my show, and I will say this for all of the folks that are here locally to the area. Eventually, I swear, when the room gets done, it will be done. I'm knocking wood again. So I'm not gonna affect the camera and the speakers and the sound. I can't do that because every time I knock on the real wood, I knock myself out. Okay. When the room gets done, we're gonna have some a good old fashioned party for basically what was the FBARB, Florida Bay Area Raider Boosters. So they exist. FBARB never went away. So we're going to have a good local party for all the folks that I invite. So make sure you stick with me there, Russ. And I want to take you and your buddy. Need to make sure all the buds are there. And it's great. So we have a line open. And 34 million, 3 years. Okay, yeah. Critique. I know you want to talk about it. I mean, right now, it's either talk to me or turn on the NFL. No, not even the NFL. No, it's Fox NFL to see that Seahawks and the Vikings are tied 10-10 with 12:43 to go in the third quarter. Yeah, averaging about 15 a year. But you know what? He has the wherewithal. He has the wherewithal to get those numbers because he is a top receiver. So, which tight end do you think we'll keep other than Waller? That's a great question, Kendall. I really believe that it's going to be Waller and Carrier and Moreau. Those are the three that I think. Those are the three that I think. Okay, well, I'm going to be on a while. Chris. You cook dinner. I'm feeling it, man. I'm feeling it. I might have a 3-hour show tonight because I haven't had one in quite a while. It'll give the West Coasters time to come in. It is Sunday. It's going up on 10, so we're hitting 7 o'clock. If we're 10, if it's 11, why not? Why not? I mean, I got nothing else to do other than to talk football. I will be here. As long as we have callers, I'll stick around. So you cook dinner, eat dinner, and then, you can call now. If it says call 813-699, there's nobody there, critique. I love you, brother. But I gotta hang on you. If it says to call and there's nobody here talking to me, call. Wide receiver battle is going to be tough. You got that right as well. I think that the biggest question marks is, remember, who are going to be those 6 wide receivers? And remember, it's really 5 because you know that Harris, pending anybody taking his spot, and I don't see somebody taking his spot. And Chris, you're ruining my thunder. I was going to say that at the interior D-line, who's going to be playing defensive tackle? That is going to be a hellacious. See who we got there. And on the line, we do got the Raider critique. How you doing, brother? Good to hear from you.
It's great to hear from you, too. I know everybody likes to smash the critique's ball, so I'm going to give you the opportunity to do that today.
You love it.
So anyway,
you love it.
Yeah, you know I love it.
That's right.
You know I love it.
That's right.
Because it's always good to hear somebody who actually has more sense than me talk about this. But I'm going to go ahead and break it down.
Okay.
I'm not happy with AB.
I got you.
was like one of the first ones to call AB coming to the team, thinking this was going to be a great move. And this dude wants to bitch about a helmet? Give me a break.
Yeah.
You're making $15 million a year. You know what I mean? You could buy your own helmet with that kind of money, and it can be hurt the NFL standard guidelines. This is hurting us as a team. It's hurting the unity of the locker room, and if it's not doing it yet, it's going to if he keeps it up like this. I'm starting to wonder if this is a bad move.
Well, here's the thing, and Jared, if Jared's still out there, I'm sure he's going to say the same thing. Jared said he didn't want to call before you because he's going to give a breakdown from Pittsburgh. Jared has told me, and other Pittsburgh fans have told me, that Antonio Brown doesn't like the preseason anyway. Hot Neil, you're gonna have to give everybody at least. Remember, everybody gets at least 5 minutes. Everybody gets at least 5 minutes. You got to let critique have his 5 minutes. Okay.
Hey, don't worry about it, brother. I'll bust my nut in 3. Don't worry.
Okay, but The thing is, Antonio Brown doesn't like the preseason, whether it's his feet, whether it's his helmet, whether he had the crabs from some chick that he was doing, whatever. And I don't know if he's married or not. I'm just saying there's going to be an excuse somewhere where he doesn't like the preseason. He likes to play for real. And the preseason is just, it's just another Antonio Brown excursion of diversion, okay? He's going to find something to bitch about, moan about, and do whatever. Now, the funny thing is, obviously, as you know, is that we are on Hard Knocks, so you got Antonio Brown's issues. Richie Incognito has been a stalwart citizen. I mean, the guy is friggin' wonderful, okay? There's been nothing out of him. I mean, obviously, Gruden is a swearing fool, but that's normal. And so you got the basics, but there hasn't really been anything that has been shown, even on Hard Knocks, where, so what? And if you look at Hard Knocks and you say, so what? That's a good season for somebody, because it's like, so what? There's nothing going on. And that's what I want to see. I want to see a season of so what. The Raiders are 2-0. They're looking really good. They got 2 more games to play. They got, like somebody was saying, the field up in Winnipeg is an issue. Okay, so maybe the starters won't be playing a lot. I don't care as long as they come out and just kick ass and take names in the regular season. I'm sure you agree with me there. And as long as AB gets his shit together, we'll go with that.
Right, but that's the case though. If he's going to get his shit together, I understand that he doesn't play preseason. That's fine, but I still want him ready to go. I want him conditioned. I want him to make sure that he's going to be at the top of his game. So our coaching staff, our general manager, doesn't look like an idiot for pulling the strings to get this guy from Pittsburgh. Now, I've been hearing it from all my Pittsburgh buddies too. AB's going to be a distraction. AB's going to be this. AB's going to be that. You guys are going to hate having AB. I don't want those guys to be right, man. And I'm already starting to feel the heat. Because the dude, come on, you're complaining about a helmet. I understand you got your feet hurt and whatnot, but you're paid millions of dollars to play a football game, man. You're playing a game. You're not like dudes like me who are out there sweating in the Texas sun, trying to hurry up and get paid. You're already paid. Give me that kind of money to play the game, and I'll do everything I can to play that good. But he's got the opportunity. He's got the talent. He's with a different team. Mm-hmm. He needs to treat us different than he treats Pittsburgh. And he's treating us just like he did Pittsburgh to a certain extent. He's lucky he got a separate opportunity, especially coming over to a team that supposedly is in rebuild mode. But if you look at this rebuild mode, man, we are a juggernaut. We are going to wreck shop this year. Doesn't he want to be a part of that? Because I'm sure Tyrell Williams can go ahead and take his position, and we can go ahead and get a second wide receiver. He might want to think about it before he winds up off the market on free agency.
Yeah, I remember though.
The way Mayock said it, though, bro. The way Mayock said it, I agree with him. I think that he needs tough love. He needs that tough love, because you can't sit there and just float around aimlessly over a football helmet. It's stupid.
I agree, and like I said, I think he's going to get it. I think that that they're giving him a little more rope than they would give other people because he is who he is. But I don't think Gruden is going to give him pretty much any more. I think that he's at the end of his tether, and that they're going to start that yank. They're going to start that yank back. And as long as he comes out and does what he's supposed to, I'm not saying it's going to be forgotten, but it's just going to go away. It's going to go away, and that's what I'm hoping.
I can only hope that you're right. I only hope that you're right, that it's all going to go away. And I'm Captain Jack, you're always never wrong.
Well, I once thought I was wrong, but I was mistaken.
Right. See, I understand that, man.
Yeah,
I understand that. And with the wide receiver core that we do have this year, we can put Renfro as the number 2 and have Williams as the number 1, and we're still going to be fine. We put up 33 points in the first half.
Yeah.
against the Cardinals last week.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, we did that without Antonio Brown.
Right.
And that was our first string offense that was doing that. So, I mean, I'm happy with the pick and shit. To be honest with you, our offense is producing numbers like that. And that defense, baby, that defense is solid. I'm loving what we're doing on defense. I believe we're going to be a top 15 defense this year, as long as we can develop pressure on the quarterback and let him make mistakes to throw the ball to our secondary.
Right.
And
I tell you what,
think it's
with
very possible.
with a better secondary, obviously with a better pass rush up the middle and around the ends, and then with linebackers like Marshall and Burfict that know where they're supposed to be playing, that can apply the pressure when needed, as long as they know what they're playing. You know, you got Morrow as a good, I'm going to call him your basic defensive end. He's not a lot of glitz and glamour, but he knows how to play the position. Morrow's going to be there. You got Klee on the other side. You know, Keys looked good. Both PJ Hall has looked really good because it looked like he was coming in a little bit overweight and people were not happy with him. PJ Hall had some really, really good shouts and stout blocks, stout tackles in game 2. So, you know, Hurst has been well. I mean, the defense has been playing well. And I like the fact that they called those penalties against both Bell and Farrell with the hands to the face. They're going to learn that, you know, you can't do X, Y, and Z like you did in college. You got to have good technique. You got to get those hands down, not up in here, over in here. And there's a difference between here and here. And I'm glad that they're calling that so these kids will learn what they can and can't do, and it will make them a lot better.
Absolutely. And, you know, I've always complained about the officiating, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be complaining about the officiating
Of course we are.
this year.
Yeah.
Because of all the new rules they decided to add, but at least they're trying to show that there are fundamentals that you have to go by. And you can't have your hands all up around their neck and all up in their face mask and things like that. There was a lot of things like that happened last year that got overlooked.
That's right.
So you know, it's the same thing with the pass interference calls. I think I saw one yesterday when I was watching that shitty-ass Dallas game. They had there was a pass interference call while the ball was in the air. It's probably the first time I've ever actually agreed on a replay for a pass interference call because, yes, it was blatant pass interference. But they're going to nail us with that.
Yeah.
They're going to get us with that.
Well, that's why I said that the Raiders as a whole, as a team, and by the way, I love critique, but you can knock them out, 813-699-0834. The Raiders as a team have got to play better than the officials. And what I mean by that is they have to play a game where a shitty call against them, i.e. a tuck call, or a phantom pass interference call, or he had his hand on his ass while he was checking out a chick in the stands, illegal procedure, whatever the hell it is, okay? It's going to be some BS call that the officials are going to have on them. They got to be able to play better than have a call affect them, okay? And this team, like I said, is ascending. There's a lot of good players on this team. There are going to be players on this team that get cut from the 53 that are immediately going to be finding jobs with other teams. And normally, or before, years and years ago, the Raiders would have like about, I want to say, 46 guys that were mediocre on the team, and then those last 5 guys or last 6 guys, they would be on the roster until those other players got cut on other teams, and those last 6 guys went, and we picked up another 6 or 7 players from other people because they were better than what we had on the roster now. Now the Raiders actually have a roster where the people that we cut are going to be picked up by other teams and are going to be a stalwart, dynamic, professional for other people. And it's been a while since I could say that.
And that's a great point because to be honest with you, you know, yeah, it's our defense, our lineups, the way we got everything set up. If we wind up cutting other players, they're going to wind, you know, some of the players that we're going to cut, they are going to wind up on other teams, and that's just because of how good they are. You know, and it's actually a great problem to have when you come to think about it, because we have not had a stellar lineup like this in years.
Yeah.
Years, probably a decade. You
Yeah.
know, and it's great. It's a good problem to have. You know, but I would really hate to see guys like Antonio Brown cut for the simple fact that they can't follow simple protocol, or dudes like Joey Ellis who just happen not to be seen in the field because PJ Hall is doing a lot better at nose than what Ellis would be doing right
And
now.
Ellis might not make the team. Ellis might
Ellis
not
might
take
not
the
make the
team.
team.
And
Yeah.
they're gonna be remembered. Now, let's say you got, for example, you got to pick 6 receivers, but you really only have to pick 5, because let's say that Harris is a given, and right now Harris is. Nobody has stepped up that we know of. Nobody has stepped up to be that special teams guy. So let's say you got to pick 5 receivers. So you got Antonio Brown, Terrell Williams, Hunter Renfrow, and then you got to pick 2 more. And that's going to be a hard decision. Is it going to be Keelan Doss? Is Marcel
Right.
Aitman going to be a practice squad guy? Because I think that if you put Doss on the practice squad, he'll get picked up by somebody. But if you put Aitman on the
Correct.
practice squad, maybe somebody doesn't pick him up. So does Keelan Doss make it? Does Rico Gafford make it? Remember, there's J.J. Nelson. What about Ryan Grant? You got way too
Right.
many good to great receivers on this roster. Somebody's going to get cut and get an immediate job somewhere. And that's why I'm thinking, if they want to really keep somebody, if they don't think that Keelan Doss is the answer right now, I think that they're going to IR him with a very bad case of fungal hangnail, and make sure he gets stashed so that they don't put him out there for waivers. You know, I don't know,
Right.
but we'll see what goes on. And Chris is saying it. You know, Ryan Grant and J.J. Nelson. You know, those are probably those other 2 guys. You know, but then it's like, is somebody going to take Harris's spot? I don't know. And we got to see what we got going on there.
Well, I can say this: Dawson's ceiling is high. I mean, he's young. The dude, yeah, he does this wide open passes every once in a while, but that's something that can be fixed, you know. And the guy's got miraculous speed. I think he's a much better asset than Ryan Grant. I think that we could actually do more with him than we could with Ryan Grant. But Ryan Grant is also a really good acquisition himself.
Remember, Ryan Grant can play the X, the Y, and the Z, all 3,
Right.
all 3. So I think you can't really cut Ryan Grant. I mean, he has not done anything that we've seen, okay, to be cut. And
That would constitute him.
right.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I do appreciate you letting me call in, Captain Chapman. Go ahead and keep somebody else to chime in. If anybody else is trying to call in, I just want to let everybody know, hey, make sure you tune in to Captain Jack, and also tune in to the Raider Homer channel. We've got a couple new podcasts that are actually coming out. Lone Star Raider Nation podcast, that will be out soon. And then, of course, the RIP podcast, which is the Raider Invasion podcast, over on the Raider Homer channel. You guys want to hear Superfans? You guys want to hear Raider Homer talk to Superfans? Tune into the channel, man. He's got some real good material.
Well,
Anyway, I love you guys, man. You guys take care of yourself. Remember, Raider Nation for life, and just keep your chin up.
hey, Critique, always good hearing from you, partner. Thanks for calling in, shipmate.
All right, brother. You take care of yourself.
All right, you be well. That is my boy, the gunman, Raider Critique, online with us. So great hearing from him. Russ says that there's talk that the Giants would make a trade for Grant. That's the thing. Like I said, Ryan Grant needs to make this team, or he needs to be traded for somebody for a good pick. You know. And again, Raider Homer said best. Thank you for your comments, Critique. Love to you as well. Make sure you check out Critique's YouTube as well. So, and almost right on cue, it's a call from Pittsburgh, and we got Jared on the line. Who else is it? Okay, unknown caller. You're gonna have to let Jared get his 5 minutes. I appreciate you calling in, but Jared beat you to it. So what's going on there, Jared? JJ is on the line.
Yes, what's going on, Captain Jack? How you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm I love when I get calls and calls and calls. I can stay up here all night. Eventually, I'll go to sleep, but it gives me a good rush feeling for this way to start the week out.
Yes, exactly, Howard. And it's been a pretty good camp here in Pittsburgh, let's just say. The drama, however, has been quiet as all camp long. I mean, Mason Rudolph did okay last night, however. I mean, it has been very mellow this camp, although it was a little somber last week with the whole Daryl Drake passing, however. But right now, however, the Steelers seem to be clicking at the right time, however. James Washington has had a very good preseason so far through 2 weeks. I like what I'm seeing out of him. But this week we'll see Ben and Juju and those guys take the field, however, for the first time, however, where they take on Tennessee a week from tonight. So it's going to be interesting. But, yeah, it's been a very, very mellow camp, however. Devin Bush has done pretty good so far in the first game, although last night he didn't do too much, however. But overall, however, they did pretty well last night. I was very impressed with what I saw last night against Kansas City, however. They kept Mahomes in check, even though he played a series or two. But defensively, I think they did okay, however, but the penalties continue to be a bugaboo. But overall, however, it's been a very mellow camp. It's been a very calm camp up here in Steeler country.
Well, that's good. Hey, anytime that there is a game that the Chiefs lose,
Yes.
that's always that's a great game.
Yes. Oh, yes.
I mean, now granted, you know that the Steelers are not always high on our list of people that we're going to root for, and that's just because it's the Raiders-Steelers thing. But anytime you could beat the Chiefs for us, that's fantastic there, partner. We appreciate you doing that.
No problem, no problem. It was pretty crazy today also hear about Cedric Benson. That was pretty sad, though, what happened with him today.
Yeah. Now he died in an auto accident? Or
last night he was 36. I mean, they said. I mean, I don't know if it was on a wet road or what, but I just heard about it early this morning. It's like, holy cow, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I remember him from UT. He was a fantastic running back in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't really make a big impression in the pros, but I heard nothing but good things about him personally. I know that he was played for the Bears. He played for the Bengals. And, a really good guy, so rest in peace to Ced Benson.
Yes. And there was another one, I think Jack Whitaker passed away today, too, I think it was. That was who passed away today. He's 95, believe it. He covered the first 20-some Super Bowls. I think he was like a producer or something like that, like for CBS or something like that. I thought I heard something about that today, too. So,
well, I mean, to be honest, I thought he was already dead, so shame on me. So, wow. Yeah.
I think it was today. Yeah, that's what happened with Jack Whitaker. But, yeah, we got the colleges starting up next week, however. We got the Battle of Florida in 2 weeks, however. We got some good games coming up, however. Of course, Labor Day, we got Notre Dame and Louisville, of course. So college is finally here. The high schools up here in Pennsylvania are ready to go. I mean, starting this coming week. I mean, my niece's birthday's tomorrow, however, and she starts back to school along with her sister on Tuesday. So everything is just swimmingly going according to plan up here.
Great. So, and how's the weather?
It's been muggy, let's just say. It was a little muggy today, and it's going to be muggy most of the week, however, but it's going to start calming down by the later part of the week, like in the low 70s. But, yeah, I was at a friend's party today. My friend who lives in my neighborhood, I grew up with him as one of my friends, however. He and his wife and them are moving the next weekend, however, from their neighborhood. I mean, they just moved back to Pittsburgh, however. I mean, they were in India. I don't remember how many years ago it was. He was in India for a while. He moved back to Pittsburgh. Then, of course, he and his wife, however, I guess he bought into a diner, however, up there north of Pittsburgh, however, in the town of St. Mary's near DuBois, however. It's a burger and hot dog joint, and he has been running it for a few months now, and I guess, however, he is building a second restaurant up there in St. Mary's. He spends more time up north than he does in Pittsburgh. And him and his wife and his son, however, who's 10 years old, they're moving officially later this week, however. They've only been back for a few years, however, but they're moving north of Pittsburgh, however. We had a farewell party for them tonight.
Well, cool, man. Well, and I tell you this, I swear, the next time I go to Pittsburgh, there is a Navy petty officer that hopefully she'll make chief, and I told her that if she does make chief, it'll be the only time that I actually shave the beard, and I might even have to get a haircut because I told her that I would be within regulations to be in my Chiefs uniform to pin on her anchor. So that's coming up, and for me to get a haircut and to shave my beard I'm not going to do that for just anybody. But she's a shipmate of mine. She lives in Pittsburgh, and I'll do that for her. And I know that I'm going to hang with you, and we're going to go over to a certain restaurant from a certain former Steelers, former Raider, former a couple different things. We definitely need to make sure we get that squared away.
Definitely. Well, stay cool, and I'll be in touch with you sometime this week, all right?
Always good hearing from you, Jared. Thanks for your Pittsburgh report from Jared.
Talk to you soon.
All right, thanks again. That's Jared in Pittsburgh, and he is a friend of the show, so I don't want to hear any crap about who the hell cares about what's going on in Pittsburgh. I do, because, again, a friend of the show. And when this program takes off, I said it's Sunday, you're going to talk about your team. Jared's going to talk about his Steelers. And, that's because this is the Ask Captain Jack show, and you're going to talk about football. I ain't talking baseball on a Sunday. But if you want to talk about your team, we're talking about your team. So I'm dealing with that. Always good hearing from Jared. Line is open, 813-699-0834. We did have some other people come in. I appreciate you doing that. Let me see how many people we got watching. Okay, we got 15. That's always good. Get those numbers up. Again, if you can, take this link, push it up on Facebook, make people know that we are on the program. Just get that link up there. Get everybody over here because, Facebook doesn't have the sound. Facebook doesn't have OBS when it's working. And like I said, thanks to Raider Homer for hooking me up so we actually can have it working. And that's fantastic because I wasn't going to do a show until the sound was working. So we got that working. We got the sound coming in. We're talking football. We're talking Raider football, unless you're Jared. We're talking Steeler football. And if you got some other teams in there, great. But hey, let's do this. I want to talk about, and this is, and I'm going to look at the stats here. Okay. This is going in for between looking at the clock or looking at what was going on. The Raiders were up 26-10 at the half. And this is how I look at preseason football, okay? First game, you look at what the score is at the end of the first quarter because that's normally where your starters and first-line subs play, the first quarter. Second game, what's the score at the half? Because, again, first-line starters and then the immediate substitutes play until about halftime. Third game historically has been your starters will play at least a half and then maybe into the third quarter. So it's what the score is at the end of the third quarter because these are the guys that are probably going to be making your football team. The fourth game, don't even worry about the fourth game because these guys, as I said, some of them are going to be bagging groceries at Albertsons the next week and they need to make a good claim as to what's going on. So we have a caller coming in. Caller, how you doing? 719. Who am I talking to here? Oh.
Hey, Captain Jack. This is Hardcore Raider. How you doing, buddy?
This is who?
Hardcore Raider.
Hardcore Raider. Hey, good to hear from you, brother. Where are you calling from?
Donkeyville, brother.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm giving you the Omni Domni there. Thank you for clearing up the night and making sure that the silver and black is hardcore out in Colorado, man. So thanks for calling in, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, not a whole lot. I just, all the news dropped with Mayock and this Antonio Brown stuff, so I just wanted to kind of get into that. So, I've checked you out a few times, so I like your content, and, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but I'm kind of on the fence on this Antonio Brown thing, man. I know he's obviously an elite talent, and he's got, a lot of upside that he can help our team be not just good but great. We obviously do have some depth at wide receiver, but nobody's of the talent of Antonio Brown as of yet.
Yeah. And the thing is, like I said, and of other than Antonio Brown, okay, like I said, when you look at all of the other Raiders that we have on this roster, as far as who's going to be the wide receivers, my God, there is so many talented people on this roster. I mean, it's really going to be a hard decision as to who actually makes this team. And yes, Antonio Brown is, let's just say he's safe this year. But who's to say that maybe, and again, I don't know how much of an impact he will make. I'm sure he's going to make a big impact. But let's say that there are up-and-coming people on this roster. Maybe the Raiders might be, one and done with Antonio Brown. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but, that is the type of ascending talent that we have on this team. And they get to play a year with Antonio Brown, another year with Terrell Williams. And these guys are fantastic. And, wow, who are you going to keep? Like I said, if you can get a good draft pick for Ryan Grant, who's a great player, by the way, we have a lot of decisions that we have to make. Now, you being out in Donkeyville, what is the general consensus of, okay, and I'm going to make the obvious joke here. Okay, obviously they're smoking a lot of dope out there, so they think they're going to win the Super Bowl. Okay, so other than that, okay, a clearly analytical view of non-clouded head, what do the Broncos fans that actually know what the hell they're talking about, what do they say about their team out there?
I'm not, I don't know, it's hard to go into it. I'm going to get fired up here. First of all, Bronco fans, the only bigger jackass fans there are fucking Cowboy fans, dude. So, I love critique, man, but I lived out in Texas. I was stationed out there when I was in the Army, and the only thing bigger and better in Texas is their egos, and they're not better. But so Cowboy fans think they're God's greatest gift, But anyways, Bronco fans don't fall too far from that tree, in my opinion. So first of all, to me, you got to understand your enemies. I think a lot of Raider fans, we've wasted our time hating on the 49ers when Bronco fans, they don't give a shit about the 49ers. They eat, sleep, breathe, hate the Raiders, so you gotta know your enemy. And anybody that's a diehard Raider fan, they know that how important that rivalry is. So, Raiders are the most hated team by Bronco fans. You know what I mean? So
that's right.
I'm rolling around wearing my Raider gear. You know what I mean? You got to be tough because you're going to get kicked in the nuts left and right. But they think Flacco's the next coming of Peyton Manning, which is just complete horse manure. John Elway's desperate for his job, and he thinks it's going to Flacco is what I call him, but that he's going to be the resurgence of Peyton Manning, and it's not going to happen. Yeah, they think they're better than us. They think the Raiders are going to be last in the division, but they got another thing coming. We're going to surprise a lot of teams this year. But I don't know if that exactly answers your question, but
no, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I'm definitely
Bronco fan. A lot of them are real delusional. They don't even know who their quarterback is half the time. You ask them who they drafted. They're not very knowledgeable, but they're supposedly a diehard Donkey fan. I lived out in Cali for a while, 9 years, and it was nice to be around some other Raider fans. But being out here, all my wife's family's Bronco fans and all that shit. So yeah, that's kind of off topic, but it's you got to be tough, man. You got a tough skin. You can't be a pushover. You know what I'm saying? So. But no, I had a few takes on Antonio Brown, if I may. I wanted to kind of talk about and get your opinion. So
go ahead. Yeah.
The helmet thing is obviously an issue now. We thought it wasn't going to be an issue, but it obviously is an issue. And if Mayock's coming out where there's smoke, there's fire. So I'm getting a little concerned. I personally always support anybody that bleeds silver and black, and they're not hating on our team. They're not jumping ship or whatever, I'll support the players and other Raider Nation 100%. You know what I mean? And we need that positivity. But with Antonio Brown, I'm kind of on the fence on this one. I'm struggling with it. And I think for him to give up a $30 million check, I don't know exactly how the payout would be if I understand it right, and I'm not saying I do, but if I understand it right, if he doesn't play and if he did retire or say he didn't want to play for the Raiders over a helmet or whatever, blah, 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 that he would not get that $30 million. And so for me, him being, booming and loving money and private jets and whatever you want to, however you want to, slice and dice it, I can't see a guy giving up $30 million over a helmet. You know what I'm saying? But obviously it's a distraction at this point. If he's a team player, he needs to be a Raider. Even if he's not able to physically practice, in my opinion, he needs to suit up, or even if he can't suit up, be there to be around his teammates, And so for me, the number one thing is, like, the dude hasn't even taken one snap. He's been to a couple practices and not even had one snap on the field, and he's bringing this kind of heat against Raider Nation. Anybody that's a diehard Raider fan like yourself, myself, Raider Critique, Merch Fan, K, Pillaging Podcast, all of us, dude, they're in this realm, and any other Raider Nation member, like, we know that we're going to get hated and that you got to be tough, and anybody that thought we were going to go on Hard Knocks and go riding off in the sunset on a white horse because Hard Knocks portrayed us in a positive light, we're kidding ourselves. We should have known, like, this hate was going to come at us tenfold, especially from media guys that have been hating on us for years and years and years. They're going to double down against our team. But the point is about Antonio Brown is, like, I'm having a hard time that, like, he brought this shit on us, on Raider Nation. He's not being a team player, in my opinion, over some dumbass shit that he should be able to squash. It is a distraction. People are like, Hard Knocks ain't a distraction. Well, I don't know if this ties into Hard Knocks or not, but to me, there has to be something that's more to this than just a damn helmet. Like, does he not want to be on Hard Knocks? Is he doing it for Hard Knocks? Does he not want to go to practice until he's 100%, so that way his talent is shown on Hard Knocks and he's not just there on the sideline, looking, like he's not adequate to the spotlight or something, you know what I mean? I mean, there's something more to this than just the damn helmet, in my opinion. There's got to be. Or
there is
it worst case? Is the worst case scenario he doesn't want to be a fucking Raider? And I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it, but the's something more to it than just the helmet.
I don't think it's, when you said that, I don't think it's because he doesn't want to be a Raider. I really think he does want to be a Raider, because Antonio Brown as a Raider persona, it's so obvious that they are made for each other. The Raiders are the bad boys of the NFL, the outspoken, the antisocial, we kick ass, take names, and we don't give a rat's ass about what anybody else thinks about us. That has Antonio Brown written all over it. What I think it is, and I'm not sure if you were here when I was talking with Russell about it, and Jared also knows this because he's out of Pittsburgh, is that Antonio Brown does not like the preseason. And he's grasping at excuses in order for him not to be involved in training camp and the preseason and all those other things. So he's looking for smoke screens and diversions and mirrors to bounce things off of, so that he keeps his name in the public without really doing anything. And then when the season starts, he's okay, well, I'm ready now. Well, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, he needs to start showing up to get the good rapport that he has with Carr that he started with before training camp even started. They were out throwing patterns and doing all these things. So he had good chemistry with Carr, but that only goes so far when you're in, shorts and sneakers, okay? You need to get in a gear. You need to make sure you get it going on the field. Now, here's the other thing. I understand that not having a helmet that you are accustomed to playing with for the last 10 years is an issue. I mean, it's not a smoke screen in that respect. It is a real issue. But I'm looking at it like this. You mean to tell me that you can't find a helmet that is accredited by the NFL and make some adjustments to it? Because he said that the helmets that he has was affecting his peripheral vision. You can't get a helmet, and maybe I'm wrong here, but you can't get a helmet and make some cutouts and keep it within specs so that you can play with a helmet that is still certified. Or maybe if you make these little diversions and maybe it doesn't get seen by all the officials or whatnot, you can't tell me that you can't do something with a helmet that's certified and make it so that it's better for you. You know, I mean, there's got to be something in there.
No, I agree. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, even if he could like use a temporary helmet until his other one gets certified or something, dude. But like, you know, Gruden. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like from what I've heard from you, it sounds like you're on the same, opinion I am. Where you're a huge Gruden supporter. I loved Gruden before. I mean, in my opinion, Gruden is like he's a Raider through and through, and I wanted him back for 15 plus years. You know what I'm saying? And Gruden ain't gonna tolerate this shit for very long. You know, he wants people that are team players. And the other side of that coin, and this is what kind of, I guess, what worries me, because, us Raider Nation, we're passionate. We have to be tough, just like, I was talking about at the beginning. But, no player is bigger than the silver and black.
No,
Raider
I agree.
Raider Nation will move on, just like we did for Mac and Cooper, and I don't want to get on that tangent because that's a whole nother rabbit hole.
Remember, it's not Mac, it's 50 Who. It's 50 Who and the whiner that went to Dallas, okay?
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, but and how I feel about Mac, I love Mac, but Mac disappointed me. We talked about it on Raider Ben podcast because we do some stuff on there too. But Mac disappointed me when Card went down. Mac should have been like a Ray Lewis on the field, leading our team through adversity, and it didn't happen. And I was disappointed in that, So I mean, that's not enough to like get rid of him. But at the same time, like what we acquired, I'd rather have. If Antonio Brown gets his stuff straight, or whatever, I'd rather have the talent that we have now versus, Mac and Cooper or just Mac, to me, that's how I look at it. And, I did have one other, I know there's like time limits, so I don't want to ramble too long, but I did have one other take on the wide receivers. I want to get your opinion because I know you're very well versed in your knowledge of the Raiders or whatever. But, like, since this wide receiver depth is so deep, as, you were talking about, and we all know, to me, I think, if Antonio Brown is on our team, it might be the best, potentially the best wide receiver core as far as depth goes that we may have ever had,
That I can remember. No, this is, if you don't, and again, let's take Harris out of the equation because he's a special teams ace, okay? If you look at the 5 people that are coming out of this camp, okay? I'm even going to give Hunter Renfrow the fact that his football IQ is immense. It is immense. He's played with championship quality teams in college. You can only do what you do in the NFL, but based upon what he has done in his college career, he catches everything in sight, and he will take the knocks. He will go across the middle. So, again, he's a rookie. So, yes, even with him in the equation, you got Antonio Brown, Terrell Williams, possibly Ryan Grant, okay, or J.J. Nelson. That's going to be one person or two, right, with Renfrow. And maybe, like I said, maybe Doss and Aitman. And you even got guys like Rico Gafford, who is the fastest guy that I can even remember. And you got people like a Hatcher, who is definitely going to make an NFL roster. It might not be with the Raiders, but you look for Hatcher to be on an NFL roster, whether it's in Oakland or somewhere else. And I'm forgetting people because there's so many to forget.
I have the list here, so I wanted to see if you'd be willing, and I want to like take the spotlight here, but I want to see if I give you the list, would you go over the list and cut 4 players? Because I've gone over it in my head and I wrote it down, and so I'm just curious your take, because we have to cut like 4 or 5 guys, you know what I'm saying? But like if we start with cutting 4, then we can narrow it down to the nit gritty. I feel.
Right.
Would you be willing to roll with me if I read you the list?
Sure. And remember, Lastly was cut today.
What's that?
Lastly, the kid that played out of UCLA that went to, I think he was a Raven that got cut. He was cut today to bring in a lineman, so he's gone. Jordan Lastly, I think was his name. He's gone.
Oh, okay. I don't have him on my list. I must have missed him. But so I have number 9. I'm going to go by jersey numbers too because it gets really complex sometimes, and we all know Antonio Brown's number, obviously. But number 9, Pearson L. or something like that.
Yeah.
Number 10, Gaffer. Shoot, sorry, my hair press was turned on. Number 10 was Gaffer. Number 14 was Hatcher. Number 88 was Aitman. And then you got 84, Antonio Brown. 16, Williams. Number 15, J.J. Nelson. Number 13, Renfro. Number 19, Ryan Grant. Number 17, Harris, which we talked about. And then 89, Keelan Doss. So of that list, if you had to cut 4 guys, which 4 guys would you cut, right, as of now, without seeing the rest of preseason and whatnot?
Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, Pearson L is first gone. I mean, great, because he hasn't shown me enough in games. Again, now remember, we only see what we see in the games. We don't see in practice. So if Pearson L is going to be the guy that's going to take Harris's spot, I haven't seen enough, okay? He seems to be a bit quicker, but unless he has done it in practice, and Pearson L is not taking Harris's spot. Gafford would be somebody that I'd like to keep, and Hatcher I would like to keep, but not amongst all of those other people. The pick that is the hardest is between Aitman and Doss. And again, I'm going to keep everybody else other than them because it comes down to Aitman and Doss. And the only reason why, if I don't put Doss on the IR for a year, because that's one way you can sneak him by another year. Remember, Marquette King was on the IR with a hangnail. It wasn't a hangnail, but he was on the IR for a year while we kept one more year of Shane Leckler because we didn't want him out and about to be picked up by another team. We wanted to keep him. We said, dude, we're putting you on the IR. We want you on our team, just not this year. He accepted it, and then he came back the next year and he had the job because he also knew that it was the last year of Leckler's contract. If they go with putting Doss on the IR, okay, then you keep Aitman. But I don't want Doss exposed to the practice squad. I think you might be able to sneak Aitman onto the practice squad. And I like Aitman. I really do. But Aitman, to me, and I don't have the particulars in front of me as far as what their 40 speed is, how tall they are. Aitman and Doss are both big, lanky guys that can catch the ball. Right now, I'm going to keep Doss on the roster and put Aitman on the practice squad because I think that you can keep him on the practice squad without somebody snatching him. So that's what I said. Those are my 6.
But that would be 8 then, because you're keeping. All right, so I came up with keeping 7, which would be Brown, Williams, Nelson, Renfro, Grant, Harris, and Doss. And right there is 7. That's without Aitman. I agree with what you said about Aitman. Put him on the practice squad because he's still eligible. And, someone might pick him up, but, I think we have a really good chance to, maybe still keep him on the team doing that. But even if I went off of, my list, we keep Doss and stuff, someone still has to get cut. So,
right.
It's got to be Grant, Harris, Doss. It's got to be one of those 3 have to go. I mean, I don't know. I think J.J. Nelson makes the team.
I missed one. The other competition is between Nelson and Grant because they're essentially the same receiver. Okay?
Right.
How
many small, tiny, shifty receivers are we going to have, Slot receivers are we going to have? I mean, if you keep 4 slot receivers, that's kind of, I don't know, I can't see that, but, I don't know.
That is, like I said, that's the competition right now. Aitman is going up against Doss, and Nelson is going up against Ryan Grant. That's where they're the similar receivers, kind of like Washington and Richard are basically the same running back. And I was very surprised last year that we kept both of them. But it remains to be seen. I've seen more out of Nelson in the games, but according to what the guys in practice are saying, Ryan Grant has played better in practice than Nelson. So if it goes to that, if it goes by what you get from practice, I'm going to keep Grant over Nelson by a split decision, real close. But I'm going to keep Grant.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair take. Definitely.
I mean, I'd like to keep Nelson, but he, I mean, the one great catch he had against the Rams, which was fantastic. But I want to have more consistency over Splash. I mean, Splash is good, but I'm going to keep right now. I'm keeping Ryan Grant over Nelson. Now, somebody was saying, I think it was Russell was saying that they're shopping Grant and that the Giants might trade for him. If so, then you get a pick for a really good player, or a player for a really good player, and then the decision is made for you, which means Nelson makes the roster, and then you get somebody for Grant in a position that you need.
Yeah, definitely. Do you? I guess one other question. Do you think we should try to bring anybody else on, like for a guard position, or should we trade for a guard?
Well, they signed the kid, and I can't remember what the guy's name was. I think it was Cameron Hunt, I believe is his name. He played center guard with the team last year. They just signed him today, and that was one of the reasons why they got rid of Lasley. They are looking at the fact that Incognito and Gabe Jackson are out. Incognito's out at least the first 2 games. Jackson's out at least the 2 to 3 to 4 games, so that they're going to need somebody coming back for that. Now, I heard that Denzel Good is coming back and has passed through, where he would be good to go. I'm not really concerned about the guard position as far as filling those spots. What I'm concerned about is really who is going to be that third and fourth tackle, okay? David Sharp has played very well in that role. Parker has not. But the thing is with Sharp, allegedly, and I say allegedly, and I've known about him since he played at Florida, there's issues with one of his eyes. I got to let you go there, partners. I got to call in. Thanks for calling in, brother.
All right. Hey, appreciate it, Captain Jack. Take care.
You take care. Great hearing from you. That was hardcore. And now we got Tommy Beard. Tommy Beard, how you doing, brother? Tommy Beard.
Yeah.
I got you in. You're in, brother.
All right. I wasn't going to call because I literally have been on the phone for the last 2 hours for a conference call.
Okay.
But I just got to say this.
Okay.
Ed Wenzel, you're a complete fucking idiot. 1, AB was in practice today, you dumbass. He left because the helmet that he had was denied.
Be nice.
Once again,
be nice.
You know what? Fuck the NFL.
Okay.
I'm done with this helmet shit.
True.
Let the man play with the helmet.
I got you. Now I agree with you.
Let him play. He wants to play. If he wants to play with the helmet and have a possible get a concussion, so be it. Because he didn't have this problem last year when he was out there in Schittsburg. And I'm sorry to Jarrett, but shit, I hate that goddamn city. Schittsburg is a fucking shithole up there. Nothing was ever said.
Okay. Yeah, well,
now since he's a Raider, well, there's a problem with it.
Now wait. Now, Tommy, let me interject. Okay, they knew last year. It was Brady and Brown and a couple other people. They knew last year that last year was the last year of the rule for the helmet. Okay, they did know last year. Okay, and that they knew that this year it wouldn't be allowed. So. That I want to make sure that the interjection was there. Yes, it's kind of like, well, why is it happening? I agree. It's kind of suspicious that now it's a real issue. What my suspicion is not the fact that It was the 10-year thing. What I'm pissed off at is that they said if he can find a shut, which is his helmet, that was less than 10 years old, that they would certify it. They had a few of them that they gave in that were less than 10 years old, and none of them were recertified. That's my issue with the NFL, is that they're full of
my
shit
biggest
there.
problem is now is it was live on HBO where Gruden told him, hey, chill out, calm down. We need you for the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And now you turn around and you got him not there today because the helmet was denied by everything that was reported by NBC Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And now Mayoff wants to bitch about it. It's contradicting. Do you want him there or do you want him rested?
Well, wait, you can have both. You can have both. Okay.
He's going to be there week one. I'm not worried yet. He is going to be there week one.
No, I agree with you there too. He will be there week one. I agree, and I think that it's a little bit more of a smoke and mirrors. He was out there practicing, not practicing, but he was doing the warm ups and the pre-practice things, or he's catching passes. He even did that during the Cardinals game. He will be there week one.
He did it during the warm up. Then he had the helmet on.
Right. He did.
He had the helmet on, and now all of a sudden, now today, the helmet's not legal. It's not going to be certified.
Well, that's the NFL.
I'm wondering if a lot of this shit has a lot of to do with HBO and it's Hard Knocks for fucking ratings.
That's possible. It's possible.
That's another reason why this is another reason why I did want this HBO.
Well, again, the Raiders really didn't have an option. Okay, the NFL and HBO were not going to let the Raiders off the hook, saying that maybe the Raiders were going to be very good this year and that they might make the playoffs. So if they did make the playoffs, that would mean that next year they would not be eligible for Hard Knocks. So they knew going in that this was a one and done year. You either get the Raiders this year or you risk losing them for next year. So they got them in this year, and the Raiders did not have an option of saying no. They didn't. Now, people said, well, Al wouldn't have done this, and Al did it. Well, you know what? Maybe, but things are different now. And the fact is that if Al probably would have said, no, we ain't going to do it, fuck you. But Al is not there. Okay, Mark is there, and Mark has played ball so far with everybody, which is one of the reasons why the Raiders are going to be sitting in a brand new facility in Las Vegas next year. He's played ball with the people, and whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, that's just the way it is. The Raiders are on HBO. They're on Hard Knocks. And from what I've seen from Hard Knocks, there really hasn't been that much of a intrusion into what I've seen. Now, granted, I never watched Hard Knocks before because I didn't.
I watched it. I missed last season because I didn't have HBO last season. I can't remember what was it. Was it Cincinnati? I watched the one year, or was it Buffalo? Might have been Buffalo. I don't remember. I watched one, but this is like the first season that I'm actually intrigued, really want to watch and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But to flip it, you know what this week is, right, Cap?
What this week is? Oh yeah. Apparently I think there's a game this Saturday, right?
Yeah, that's that Stump Gator week. You know, that team up in Gainesville or whatever the hell you want to call it.
Okay. And I will do my, because I know you have already IM'd me, and bless you for that.
I'm just doing my part in being part of the media. That's all I'm doing. I'm just being part of the media because I'm actually part of the media with Cane Chase.
I got you.
Since I am part of the Cane Chase and know stuff, I'm just doing my part helping that other team up north.
I got you. Now, I tell you what, you might need to let me know what I need to do to call into your show. And if
We're not even sure when we're going to be on again. That was one reason why, because I guess something about the dude that does it runs through the whole runs the internet. And he lives up in Ocala, and they've been having a lot of storms up there.
Yeah.
I mean, like bad storms. He said.
Yeah. Well, Ocala's only about an hour away, so I know what he's been going through. It's been
Supposedly
been bad weather.
lightning hit and ran through and blew the internet box or something, and nothing's working.
Okay.
So we are hoping to get on before the game. Because
Okay.
he's going.
Okay. Well,
Him and
again,
his two boys are going.
I will be here Saturday. I know I'm not going anywhere because I asked my stepson and his daughter to come over for this weekend. So I know for a fact I will be. Now the game starts about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
The TV guy said 7 o'clock.
Okay.
You know ESPN. If it said 7 o'clock, it'd be about 7:15, 7:20.
Right. Because they have to do all that pregame crap. I know that I will be watching the game. And
I'll be watching. I'm watching with a bunch of friends.
There you go.
Up here.
And you will be texting me each time that those folks from down South Florida. I won't even say what their names are. And by the way, I did enjoy that wonderful pic that you sent me. It was laughable, but it was funny.
Which one?
The
one with the gator head cut off?
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I love your enthusiasm. Ain't gonna happen. So I want to make now.
Okay, you'll go. Do you even have enough players to build the team? I mean, hell, y'all can't. You all do know you're playing men. Okay, you're not playing women that beat around. I don't want y'all running.
Okay.
I mean, because you seem that you can't keep your hand off of women, and I've proven that to you because there's been articles.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying.
Tommy,
Y'all do know you're coming in playing with a bunch of grown men.
Okay, I got you. Now, to be honest, Tommy, and I accept your articles because, by the way, Tommy and me go back between the University of Florida and the University of Miami, and it's a great thing. I don't have time, honestly, and if I would have had time, I would go through and I would find articles about UM and send them your way. I don't have time.
There is nothing. That's it. That's what everything has changed since I'd say. I guess since Rick got there. That was 2 years ago.
Okay. So you're saying
everything's changed. Now, do I like this? Do I like not being in trouble? Yeah.
Okay.
But do I wish we could go back to the 90s and the 80s? Oh, hell yeah.
I got you.
I'd do anything shit. We know damn well what the SEC's doing now. It's already been, people's reporting it.
Okay.
You do know this, you all store the SEC's, or I'm sure Clemson's doing it.
Yes.
But there's poker chips now.
Okay.
And there's certain color poker chips. And they give them to the parents, and then they take them to the casino, and they cash them in for these recruits.
Okay.
And it's being looked into.
And I'm sure it's not just the SEC. I'm sure that there are other folks that are doing it, shipmate.
Oh, I know Clemson's doing it.
Right.
Bevo's doing it. There ain't no doubt in my mind Dabo Swinney's not doing it.
And now
we can't do it.
Why?
Hell, we spit the wrong way or do something wrong. The ACC or the NCAA's turning looking right at it.
I can almost guarantee you, not that I know from personal knowledge, I can almost guarantee you that UM is not squeaky clean. That's the easiest way to say it. UM is not squeaky clean.
At least one thing we can agree on.
What is that?
That other team up north.
Yes, we can.
I hope Boise State beats them in 2 weeks.
I think it might happen because FSU really sucks.
Oh my God! I so hope Boise. And you know where that game's being played at?
Is a neutral site game, right?
It's in Jacksonville.
Ah, okay. Well,
So you're telling me these shitholes, and yes, the shitholes. I could actually say something else, but I'm not.
I got you.
It's going from trailer taxi, just over what?
About an hour or two. About
An hour and a half.
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
And you turn around, and you're driving Boise State. That could be almost might as well say Canada. I don't like that shit. You could not put that somewhere else more.
It's let's put it this way: Boise State is getting a hell of a lot of money, and they pretty much said we'll play them pretty much anywhere at any time. Nice seeing you as well, Doc. Doc Cabral is a he's my Pats fan here, so be nice to him. But getting back to
God,
what we were
I
saying,
hope
Tommy,
and pray to God Boise State travels all that way, and I hope they beat them.
I think they
Oh
will.
my God, I will die.
I think they will. Hey, Tommy, it's always a pleasure, man. I'm going to make sure that and great hearing from you. I will try to have a show on Friday. Be aware.
Good, because I've got something special planned for Friday. If you do, if you don't, let me know and try to do it Thursday. I've got a production, everything. I can't wait for Saturday.
Okay, now let me ask before I let you go. If UM loses, what are you going to do to make it nice for me? If UM loses,
I'll congratulate you on the win. I'll say this, and I'm being dead serious.
Okay.
Dead fucking serious. I have no reason to lie. If we lose and we play good, okay, and it's like a field goal, even if we lose by 7 or even 10,
okay,
but we play good and we play competitive,
right?
Yes, I'll be mad, but I can deal with that.
I got you.
But if we come out and we put on a shit show like we did last year against that team in Baton Rouge, that don't even get their name mentioned in my book.
I got you.
We go on, we put a shit show like we did against them, I'll be so pissed off. You may not hear from me for a while because I can't deal with that shit. Because I disappeared for a while after that LSU game, because I was so pissed off and I didn't want to say the wrong thing.
Okay. Well, all I ask is that don't call if that happens. I understand totally. Just say, Captain, great win by your Gators. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Just put it in the comments.
I don't know what to expect. I mean, yeah, part of it came shades, and we can only know so much. We don't know what this offense is going to look like.
No, we don't. And
do I like what's the starting quarterback? No. Yeah. I don't want Jared Williams. I did not want Jared Williams. I wanted N'Kosi Perry. He was there he played last year. He played big games, big time games. That's who I wanted. I did not want Jared Williams.
What about Martell? You don't like Martell?
The only thing good about Martell, and this is the truth, the only thing good about Tate Martell coming to Miami was we got to meet his fucking sister.
It's his. Well, I heard his girlfriend's hot. I didn't know if it was his sister.
And his girlfriend is hot. My God, I'll send you. I got Riley Martell. I've actually got arrangements to actually meet up with Riley. Couple road games.
Okay. Well, send me pictures.
Trust me, Riley Martell. My Jesus, God.
Ask her if she likes Pirates.
Oh my God! Hey, I'm beneficial because she likes tall guys.
Good. Hey,
trust me.
Hey, Tommy, like I said, look for me on Friday, partner. I will try to have a show.
All right, Cap.
Hey, you take care, big guy. You be well.
I'm fine.
All right.
We'll see what happens after Saturday. Maybe a different story. I don't know what to expect, actually.
I don't know either. That's why I'm actually looking forward to the game.
I think we run the table after that. There's not a team left on the schedule that we should lose to. I'm sorry.
That I agree with. Do you play Clemson this year?
Nope.
Well, there you go.
The only teams we play out of the Atlantic, we've got, of course, Florida State. We always play them shitholes.
Right.
And then we got Louisville.
Okay. Well, that's
at home too. That is a home game for us. We don't have to go to that other shithole in Kentucky. I can't. I've been there once, and I'm never do that again. You talking about a bunch of disrespectful rednecks? Let me tell you.
Hey,
Jesus
Tommy,
Christ.
you have a good night, man. We'll see you the rest of this week.
Yep.
All right. Take care.
You too.
All right. That's Tommy Beard. Love hearing from Tommy. Love hearing from Tommy. Oh man. If you wanna try to come in and follow that, please do. Line is open, 813-699-0834. It is 11 o'clock, and I'm just getting my second and third win. We've been on for what? Almost 2 hours. But it's great. And on cue, good to hear from you. Hey, Doc, how you doing, brother?
Hey, doing pretty good. Just got one thing to say. I want because I know Tommy Beard, big University of Miami, big ACC fan. Is wahoo wah, baby.
Wahoo wah. Jimmy Farrell, you're gonna have to wait because Reggie Doc beat you to you, Jimmy Farrell. So you're gonna have to give Doc his at least 5 minutes before you call in, Jimmy. So wahoo!
Wahoo wah, baby.
That's it.
Virginia's predicted to win the Coastal of the ACC this year.
And that's the same division as Miami, correct?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Bryce Perkins is gonna be on the fire this year.
That's it. Hey, I hated to ask. Is that your daughter? That came up with the braces up in UVA land, or is that your niece?
They came up with the braces.
No. The pictures, the young lady with the braces was pictures with UVA.
Oh, it should be my daughter.
Okay. By the way, and not to sound creepy, but Doc Burdett has got a beautiful daughter. So don't be scoping on Doc Burdett's Facebook profile just to see her, because she's in the medical field as well, correct?
Yeah. She looks like she's 12, but she's actually 22.
No,
that's the only bad thing.
She ain't 12.
No, she ain't.
She's definitely a good-looking lady. So I applaud you in the non-creepy way that your genetic pool on whoever you were doing did a good job.
Well, I'm just betting on what I got tomorrow.
That's the best way to say it. Always good hearing from you as well. And Tommy says that the Canes are going to blow UVA out this year. So you guys get with each other, in the comments section as well. Hey, Doc.
If they blow us out, I will come online and tell Tommy Berry that he is the football procrastinator, and I will give him all props.
There you go.
I just don't think it's going to happen.
Okay, well.
But I'll give him props. I'll call and be a good sport about it, and I'll call him. And if they win, I'll give him all the props.
Well, and that's the way it should be. So what else is going? Hey, by the way, I put you up for administrative duties. We'll talk about that if need be, and hopefully you can take care of some good things as well.
All right. I appreciate that.
Yeah, good trust.
On the AB side,
got it.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm not, and this is my personal opinion. He's gonna play. The helmet's gonna take care of itself. This is all. Let's be honest. We didn't expect to see AB in the preseason anyway.
Exactly, and Matt Marinovich was saying the same thing. AB wasn't playing in the preseason. We all knew that as well, and especially when it came down with the problem with his feet. Why would you put AB in the preseason on top of having frostbite on your feet? There's no reason to. It's all a drama issue, and unfortunately, it's what's making the headlines right now. Now. It takes away good, bad, or indifferent, but it keeps him in the spotlight. You know, it actually keeps Gruden and a bunch of other people out of the spotlight. People were saying the fact is, with AB in the spotlight, people are not hating on Derek Carr as much. And I agree with them there. Derek Carr would be a bigger issue this year had AB not been an issue. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I would agree with that, but let's also look at this AB situation with the feet.
Uh-huh.
He went to do the cryo, and he came out in socks.
Right.
He's a patient, and anybody who is working and treating a trainer or someone that's running that cryo should have told him and stopped and said, no, you can't go in with socks.
Yeah. But remember, it was in Europe, and they're not as stringent of being a-hole, even though they're in the medical field. And again, I hate sounding like a typical snobbish American, but Europeans, in the way that they handle shit, it's different medically in England, in France, and in Italy. It just is. It's medical, but it's European medical, and it's a lot different.
Oh, yeah, you got to ask them questions. They're not going to tell you.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, I hold them a lot responsible to what happened to his feet.
Yeah.
Since he was trying something new that he has never done before. This was an accident. This is not something AB trying to be a butthole or trying to do something to cause drama. This is just an accident that happened to him trying to do that. Doing that therapy to try to recover quicker.
Yeah, I mean, I applaud him on the fact that he went overseas to do therapy that maybe was not within the... And again, I know they have cryo facilities in the United States, but I don't know what the parameters are to get into them, because again, the U.S. stringency on procedures is a lot tougher than it is overseas. That's why you have all of these ladies that go down to the Caribbean for breast jobs and butt jobs and things like that, because they can do things overseas that they can't do in the United States. Ergo, you go over to Europe for some procedures that are not as stringently applied in the United States. So applaud him for taking the extra effort in doing it, but by the same token, he might should have wanna thought about what the hell he was doing and read up on it before he did it, because again, it is the fault of the medical professionals in France that weren't really professional, but it was also kind of his fault. And the fact is, if you're going into a cryo facility and you know that you have liquid nitrogen or whatever the hell it is, that at minus 236 Fahrenheit or Kelvin, whatever the hell that they were using, you might want to make sure you got some protection on your feet other than socks. I think it's kind of 50-50 on that as well. But that's me.
I just don't think it was intentional.
No, I don't think it was intentional either. Yeah.
Now, the helmet issue, I think you hit the nail right on the head, is an excuse to delay, participation in certain, activities. And that part, I think, is going to go away. He'll find the helmet. I really am disappointed in the NFL with younger than 10-year helmets. They're trying to, go at rope. First they said they test them, now they're not.
Right. And I agree with you there. And it has been 8 minutes, Doc. I love hearing from you, brother.
Have a good night there, Captain Jack. Talk to you later.
All right, you take care. That was Doc Burdett, and we're going to hear from everybody's favorite Yankee fan. Oh, Jimmy Farrell. Jimmy Farrell just called. I pushed green, but it went away. Jimmy Farrell, please call back. I swear I pushed green. Jimmy Farrell was on the line because you heard him. Please call. Jimmy Farrell's next. Don't have anybody else call. Jimmy Farrell has a call coming in. Everybody's favorite Yankee fan. I'm not talking baseball. You can put it in the comments. I don't want to hear anything about baseball. This is a Sunday night football show. But Jimmy Farrell, go ahead and call. Come on. Damn, and I had to say goodbye to Doc Burdett. Okay. Well, until we get Jimmy Farrell back, and we'll get him back in a minute. There we go. Jimmy, why did you hang up on me, brother? Hello?
Captain,
Yes. What's going on, man? Why'd you hang up on me?
I figured you were still on the other caller.
Yeah, no. We were doing that. How are you doing? What's going on?
You know why Tommy B is so pissed off?
Don't say it. Don't say it. Put it in the comments. I know why he's upset. But he's don't say it. This is we're talking football.
Didn't he guarantee the Red Sox would be in the playoffs?
That's the one comment. No more baseball.
Okay.
No more baseball. He did guarantee you. But we're gonna go on to the next subject. What's going on?
Okay. I want to say something about Antonio Brown's feet.
Go ahead.
It's not what he wore that caused the frostbite. I was listening to a doctor on the NFL channel.
Uh-huh.
I guess he's a specialist on feet. He says it was the moisture on his feet. He says it's kind of like, you don't remember the Christmas story when the kid put his tongue on the pole?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that. It's kind of like the moisture.
Exacerbated the issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
He had moisture on his feet, and when the cold hit his feet, it freezes.
Okay.
So it wasn't what he was wearing; it was the moisture on his feet that caused that.
Well, okay. Now, having said that, though, if you do wear the proper foot protection, then there shouldn't be an issue with the moisture. Correct?
Well, if he was maybe wearing socks on and he was sweaty and he took them off, and then he put on sandals or whatever, and then he could have got frostbite from that.
Well, no, I got you. And again, and Doc Burdett will either and if you're still on, Doc, kind of put in the comments, about the issue with the frostbite and the moisture. I get that, but if you're wearing proper protection, and that goes with wearing proper protection for a lot of things, okay? If you're wearing proper protection, you shouldn't have an issue, and that therein lies what the problem was.
Well, according to the doctor, says it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with moisture on his feet. Doesn't have to deal with if you have shoes on or not.
Okay.
Basically.
Well, if that's true, then, and again, I'm not a medical professional. I did not stay at a Holiday Inn Express. Doc Burdett and Doc Cabral are medical professionals, so they might be able to chime in on this. If that's true, then it is incumbent upon the medical professionals to make sure that they tell them about, hey, you might want to dry your feet, make sure they're as dry as possible before you come into the facility, correct?
I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't know. As far as warnings, before you get into this thing.
Right. I'm sure because it's an overseas facility that the medical people over there are not as stringent as they are in the United States. And so what was going on was not up to U.S. specs, i.e. the people over there are not as fanatical and stringent about what's going on. So it was an unfortunate issue, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Two other things about Antonio Brown.
Okay.
As far as the Raider fans, you knew what you were getting into with this guy.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, don't act like he's a quiet boy. I mean, it's part of the reason why the Steelers got rid of him. They got tired of him.
And this helmet thing, why didn't he say something before the preseason started? Why bring it up like the first or second week of practice? I don't understand that. He knew what helmet he's going to use, and there's other choices. Why is he bringing this up now? Like the other caller said, it could be because he's on Hard Knocks, and let's make a story out of this. I mean, you know him. He wants to be in the limelight all the time.
Yeah, he does. He does, and I think it's a bit of a combination of, different things. It's him being in the limelight without even putting himself on the field. So he's getting what he wants, is that he is a big portion of the show without having to do a lot to do it. And again, that's the helmet. Whether that there was a foot issue anyway, that's just a bonus. That he has issues.
What is the difference? There's 35 helmets to choose. What's the difference between each one? Is it the fit inside the helmet? Is it size?
According to Antonio Brown, the helmets that are legitimate that they've given him impair upon his peripheral vision, whereas the shut that he has maybe has more of a, and if you're watching me, it has more of an area where your eyes can see to the side, whereas the other helmets, maybe it shuts that off, so you don't get the full peripheral vision that he's used to.
Yeah.
So you got to find
Did he
the
have that
helmet.
problem with the Steelers?
No, like I said, last year they said this was the last year that he was going to be able to wear that helmet. So he knew last year it was an issue. Tom Brady had an issue with it, and they gave him a grandfather clause that he can wear his helmet for one more year. Now he's wearing a different helmet.
Why can't you use it? What's so different about this helmet?
It has to be
Is it too
accredited.
old?
Yeah, it has to be accredited, and this is why the NFL pisses me off. It has to be accredited by, it's an acronym, let's call them NCSFAE or whatever the hell it is, okay? That has to be accredited for use by the NFL because of the issues with the CTE, that they are making sure that the players are getting proper headwear, and it has to be accredited. Now, what the NFL did say is that if he found a shut helmet in the brand that he wears that was less than 10 years old, that they would certify it. Well, he had some helmets that they sent to him, and now the NFL said, well, we haven't found one that we can certify. So the NFL are also on the hook for being buttholes in saying one thing and doing another thing. So
I
it's
wish that they were in Goodell, because he's did nothing but eating a goddamn ass ever since he's been in this damn league. I have no positive things for him. He's just, I don't know, there's something I can't stand about him.
I don't like him either. I agree with you there. I don't like him either. And he's not really well liked by a bunch of people. That's why he gets booed. Yep, Jimmy, you've been on for 8, so I'm going to let you go, shipmate. Take care. Be well. Jimmy Farrell is there, and then now we got Doc Cabral. Doc, talk to me. I'm going to talk to you about some medical things, partner. People are asking about frostbite and other things, so can you give them some medical knowledge to make them feel at ease as to what actually is going on?
Well, nice to hear from you too, Jay. Hope all is well in Florida.
I'm glad you're well as well. By the way, again, Doc Cabral, my buddy. Doc Burdett was on. I didn't get a chance. He talked about frostbite a little bit, but I got Doc Cabral as well. So good medical professionals are gonna tell us everything we need to know.
I'm not a medical professional, and I do not claim to be one. But I did work with a lot of great doctors when I was on active duty for 21 years, 2 months, and 12 days.
Okay. Better than all what we got. Yeah.
About the frostbite.
Okay.
Okay, we learned in co-ed medicine school up in Bridgeport, California, that if you sleep with coverage over your feet, which means like boots or anything like that, your feet will swell real quickly because of the elevation.
Mm-hmm.
Depending upon where he went for his treatment, believe me, anybody that does that treatment anywhere in the world assumes a risk whenever they go into any doctor's office or any kind of a specialized healthcare facility like that.
Okay.
They assume risk, whether it's in the United States with 10,000 types of protections, or it's in Europe where they have 9,993 protections.
Right.
Anything you do is a risk in medicine, because it's an art. It's not an exact science.
That's right. That's why doctors practice medicine. They don't perfect it.
Exactly. But a lot of research goes into this kind of stuff. When this stuff started years and years and years ago, it actually started over in Europe. So it was a European thing to start off, but they brought it over later on because it was costing the players too much money. They came over here, and the problem is we have QA this, QA that, quality control this, and they pay huge money to these people to make sure the stuff's being done safe in the hospital, the clinic, wherever they're at.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The only problem is if you don't follow the doctor's rules or a little checkoff sheet to a T, you as a patient are assuming risk.
Right.
Whether he has sweaty socks on, dry socks on, it may have been something else that created it, not just the moisture. There were a lot of other variables that can create that problem. Remember, we have blood inside, and the pores in our skin naturally will expire moisture depending on where you are or what kind of a facility you're in. If you're on a steel surface, your body's going to start to sweat just a little bit because of the concentration on the metal metal surface.
Right.
But what people don't talk about with this kind of stuff is, number one, before you step into a place, make sure you do your research. A lot of guys like Tom Brady, I'm not bragging about this guy,
and I'm gonna let you talk about your Patriots in a little bit, so go ahead.
Now, he does this stuff once or twice a year, but he does it in Brazil with his wife around it,
Mm-hmm.
or he might do it in Los Angeles, or he might do it up in San Francisco where he was brought up.
Right.
But the thing is, there are rules that go into any procedure you do. And you say, okay, I'm fine. I'll sign right here and I'm all set. And he goes in and something happens, the individual has to own up to it, not the doctor, because he has to sign paperwork that states this is what can happen if this happens and blah, blah, blah. If he signs the paperwork, he understands the risks he's assuming when walking into that chamber. They only go up to just below the neckline, right around the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to get their whole body heading out because they'll be dead. But what he assumed when he is signing that paperwork, whether he's in Britain, whether he's in New England, whether he's in California, Canada, South America, he assumes risk.
Right.
And by accepting the risk that he took, he had to walk away and say, "Oh God, my feet are a mess right now." And the thing is, when his doctor looks at him for the physical to become a Raider or to get in the Raider organization, they're going to ask him questions. Okay, what did you do? Where'd you do it? How long did you do it for? Who's the doctor? I need to get point of contact information, and then they do research.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the way he's acting, well, my feet this, my feet that, he accepted that risk.
Yeah.
I have no feelings like it. I don't. Don't be mad about the Raider thing.
No.
This has nothing to do with the Raiders.
No.
Individual.
I agree with you. The fact is, I applaud him for taking the extra effort to try to do something for the betterment for him to be prepared for the season. I do applaud him for that, but I also ridicule him for A, not knowing enough about it, and B, taking said risk without knowing exactly what you're getting yourself into. And then I'm pretty sure that, yes, he does take the risk, but I kind of think that the medical professionals kind of left him hanging too.
Well, to a point, again, they're not perfect. They explain the procedures whenever they do anything. Believe me, I explained so many procedures in 21 years plus my God, I have nightmares about him sometimes.
Right.
But my only real thing is my pause on him. There's something more to it.
Yeah.
There's something missing, and that's the thing. He don't want to talk about it, but there's something missing in the context.
Yeah.
And if he does something with the team doctor or his own doctor, if he has a private doctor, but he's required to expose that doctor he works for under the Raiders organization, that doctor has to know everything that happened.
Yeah. Well,
He should bring every bit of any paperwork, anything he did, he has to bring to that doctor and say, look, here's what happened, blah, blah, blah. Here's why I'm like this now, because of A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to play that clearly. That's what he has to do.
Right. Now, Doc, I definitely don't want you not to be able to crow about your certain red, white, and blue team. So please make sure that you let everybody know who you follow, why, and all the goods, bads, or indifference about what's going on with your team so far this preseason.
Well, to me, preseason means nothing.
I got
Because
you.
all you're doing is, that means nothing. It means nothing to me. It never has, never will.
But
When day one comes up, that's when the old feces hits the fan, people start doing things, and they're playing the Steelers too.
mm-hmm.
That's going to be a rather interesting prospect with AB gone and how they all react to it now. Because now they got rid of the problem like they did before with Le'Veon Bell too, because he wasn't going to play for a year. How are they going to react this year now? How are they going to act? How are they going to put their offense together? How are they going to react to other defenses? How is Big Ben going to act if he stays in the NFL for another 2 or 3 years, if he doesn't break down again?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of variables out there that every player on the team has to look at. Bill Belichick ain't playing no games. He never does play games. He just lets you know, just do your job and we'll all be fine, blah, blah, blah.
That's right.
But it's true. I mean, if you do your job and you do what you're supposed to do, you're going to win. But winning a game, I don't care if you're Superman or Superman's pretty good, but he's not an NFL team. Every game that you play in the NFL, baseball, blah, 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 the Gators, the LSU Tigers, whatever, winning a game is difficult. It's not easy. I've known guys that were semi-pros and know a couple of guys that are pros that retired years and years and years ago, many years ago, they're in the 60s. And they even tell me, Andy, you wouldn't believe this, but when you win a football game, it's almost like going to war. I said, well, don't say that. I got friends that are out there right now. But he said, no, what I mean is the mentality. You have to have the mentality that you have to assert your will on the other team.
Right.
And if you don't assert your will, you're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's your will against mine when you're on a football team. It's the offense and defense, offense. And if the defense can't assert their will, or the offense can't assert their will against the other team's defense, they ain't going nowhere. And it's not that it's a bad thing or a good thing. It's perspective on what they're willing to do to assert their will to win, to go to the big game. And once you get to the big game, anything can happen.
I agree. Now, having said that, and you said that, preseason doesn't mean anything.
To me.
To you, okay? Talk to me. Is there going to be any competition in the AFC least, and I said that correctly, the AFC least to the Patriots this year?
Honestly, they've got a pretty interesting schedule this year. And I looked at it and I went, the problem is if you sit on your laurels long enough, somebody's going to kick your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're an easy team, they're going to turn around and kick your ass. It's not, I shouldn't say, I apologize, they're butts.
Partner, trust me, we've had F's flying all night, so, not saying ass and butts, I mean, we're already far gone on that. So
well, that's okay for y'all, not for me.
I gotcha. And I've actually kept it relatively, what do you call it? Not too much cussing tonight for me. So, and I try to do that a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure Lillian's on the other side listening to you too. She's gonna poke your hole tonight. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The reality for the Patriots this year is, what are they willing to do? You just won a Super Bowl. You're going to sit on your ass and lose this season like they did after the first Super Bowl they won? No. I think they don't have time to sit down. They want to win one more Super Bowl for Tom and for Bill so they can go away. That's what they want to do.
Yeah. But, you know,
honestly, yeah, go ahead.
I used to be able to say, well, you know, this is the year that Brady's gone. This is the year that Belichick is gone. It actually is to a point where Brady wants to be there one more year longer than Belichick. And Belichick wants to be there one more year longer than Brady so that they can see, well, it was really me. I'm the impetus for what was going on, not the other guy. So they're both so pig-headed and stubborn amongst themselves that they don't want to be the one that leaves 1 year early. That, like I said, Brady wants to outlast Belichick. Belichick wants to outlast Brady. And unless Brady has a debilitating injury or somebody takes a pop shot at Belichick from the high portions of a stadium, kind of like one of those old bad terrorist movies, they're both going to be there for a while. I used to say, well, this is the last year. This is the last year. I don't know when the last year is anymore. I mean, Brady signed a two-year extension, at least 2 years. I know he's going to go through at least 2021, and I think it might have even been 2023. Now, he ain't going to last that long, but he's still in that mindset that he's going to be there. I don't know when Brady's last year is, but eventually he's going to have a year that's not up to his standards, and there will be a changing of the guard eventually. I just don't know when it's going to be.
I don't think anybody really knows. Like I told you last time I talked to you, my prediction was that if they win number 7 this year, I'm about 98.5% positive that they're going to go away.
Yeah.
Both of them. They'll walk off in the sunset and say, okay, have fun in Brazil. Okay, have fun in whatever. You do what you got to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be a win.
Yeah.
It has to be one more Lombardi for them both to look at Bob Kraft and say, you know, Mr. Kraft, it's time to go. And then Bill will go, I gotta go. And he'll go.
Yeah.
They'll both go away. And then they're going to start fresh. They got to start fresh again. It's nothing new to the Patriots organization. So when Bledsoe went down and they took Tom, they had to start rebuilding around it.
Yeah.
And they did a great job at it too. But it took time, like anything else.
Who is your backup quarterback, Doc? Do you even know?
Oh God, what's his name? The kid that went from the Patriots, like 5 other teams, including the Browns.
Oh, number 2, the guy that was their backup last year.
Yes.
Okay, but do they have a quarterback of the future identified? That's what I haven't been paying attention. I thought that they got one in the draft. If I remember right, they got a decent quarterback that is the Brady protege. They got him in like the lower rounds. That's going to be, because remember they've drafted the next Brady for, I think, the last 8 years, you know, every other year, and it just hasn't, they just haven't gone with him because, you know, they've outlived their usefulness, shall we say, of backing up Brady. So we'll see what happens.
You know, I mean, just like the Mayock and John Gruden, that was made in heaven. I believe that.
Yeah.
That match was made in heaven, not hell. And I think they're going to do some great things together.
Yeah. Brian Hoyer, by the way. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike, Sarah. Yeah, Hoyer. That was the kid. And thank you thank you for the positive. So I think so as well. I think Mayock and Gruden are eventually going to bring the Raider organization to the mountaintop. Now,
probably in 5 years or 10 years.
I think it's going to be within 3 years. I think the Raiders will be in a Super Bowl within 3 years. Whether I see it or not remains to be seen.
Okay.
Well, you know, bad health and whatnot.
Well, of course. I mean, like you and me, we're pretty much through.
Yeah.
I would never imagine being in the Philippines like I was when I was younger. We were younger.
Right, right.
But the reality of life is we go through these seasons, you know. For every reason there's a season, you know, and for every season that goes by, we get a day older.
That's
and
right.
Tom Brady's getting a day older. Bill Belichick is. Adam Vinatieri when they cut him and let him go to the Baltimore old school. There we go again.
There you go.
Indianapolis Colts.
Uh-huh.
I thought, what in the blessed are they doing? But you know what? They let him go, and they moved on to Gostkowski. He did good for a few years, and then they moved on to another kid here pretty quick. Probably after if Gostkowski does go away, it'll probably be another year or two. If he does go away for good, we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, baby, my wife. Excuse me.
I'm waving.
Please say hello to Lily for me and the family.
I will.
And be careful down there, okay? The storm season's starting to get close to you guys.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I wanna make sure that hopefully soon I'll get my patio done, and then once the patio gets done, I can actually have somebody come in and do this room I've been waiting months and months and months for. And by the way, if you want to see about that contractor that ripped me off, they have several stories on them. And I can't watch them because the DirecTV and Nexstar has a contract dispute, so I can't even watch these stories about this MFer that takes people for lots of money. So I gotta try to hit them on the internet.
Yeah, I almost got that problem too. My roofer over in Jacksonville, they were trying to rip me off. They didn't want to take the nails out. They just wanted to put the new stuff on top of the old stuff, and I said, nah. Mm-hmm. And they were starting to talk in Spanish. So I said, you know what, hang on a second, I'll be right back. Honey, come up here. So they were Mexican like she is. So she went up there. She says, go down, honey, I'll be right down, okay? And all I heard was, ah! And they saw me up there, and they said, we'd rather work with you if possible, sir. She's probably a very nice lady, but
yeah,
we'll do whatever you're supposed to do. So, okay.
Don't mess with the lady that speaks the lingo. That's right.
Yeah, and even if it's Lil knows a little bit too. So.
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, best to y'all. Take care, and good luck, Raiders, man.
Hey, thanks again, Doc. Best to you. Have a nice football
you're
season.
You're still my big brother.
I appreciate it. You take care of yourself as well, and you be well with the family.
Love you a lot, brother. Take care. Bye.
Love you too there, Doc. That's my boy, Doc Cabral. I know a few Patriots fans that are cool, and he's one of them. It is 11:40. Wow, we've been on for, 2.5 hours. Enjoyed this. Let's see if we got anybody else out there. I mean, if we got somebody that wants to call in, that'd be great. But if not, that's cool. Now let me see. It's 11:10. It's 8:40. It's 8:40 on the West Coast. But yeah, thank God Mike Arline's calling in. Mike, how you doing, brother? Good to hear from you. Hello, Mike.
Hey, Jack, what's going on?
Hey, just having a good time, making sure that the sound is actually working and people are actually dialing in, so we're good to go. Oh, let me take the transitions out, because I don't want them to knock you out because you just called in. There you go. I got that squared away. So what's up?
Oh, nothing much. Well, I know I haven't spoken with you in a while, but just want to give my belated condolences to you. I haven't spoken with you, so I wanted to at least get that out there to you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm obviously, when I was away for a month, I'm still working a lot of those issues, dealing with the administrivia of, taking business of your mom and her credit and her house, and taking care of my brother, making sure that he gets into a decent facility. So yeah, it's been a lot, but I want to make sure that I have time, hopefully, for my job, because if I don't have my job, then I don't get paid. If I don't get paid, bad things happen. As well as taking care of the things I need to take care of with, Mom and Mark and my brother's Mark, and then doing stuff for me as Captain Jack, so I get a chance to do all the positives of being on and hanging out with everybody, talking football. So it's a tightrope, and I'm trying to do it, but I'm enjoying it, and I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, well, I know everybody's been, of course, talking about the AB situation, but I kind of wanted to talk about the couple position battles I've been looking at, like at running back.
Yeah.
I'm thinking DeAndre is going to beat out. He's going to be the number 2 guy. I think Groot likes him, and he has, of course, he can play almost every down. He's like a 3-down back, because I don't think Rashard's like a 3-down back. Rashard's more like a 3rd down back.
Yeah.
So I think he might get the number 2 spot, and I haven't seen that much of Doug Martin. I don't know if he's going to even make this team or not. I'm not sure.
And that is a very good, astute observation. DeAndre is built kind of like Doug Martin, except he's a little bit. I'm not sure he's as. I think he's taller, but I don't think he's as squat. So I would like to keep DeAndre Washington instead of Doug Martin. He's got fresher legs and things like that. Remember, the only reason why Doug Martin is on this team is because the back that we picked up, Crowell, had an ACL injury, and then they made him put him on the IR, and they re-signed Doug Martin. So that's the only reason why Doug Martin's on this team. It was a good pickup at the time, because DeAndre didn't have a very good year last year. Well, now he is really showing up in both on the games and I'm sure in camp as well, in practices. So I think that DeAndre Washington has a very good shot of making the team and maybe pushing Martin off the squad.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think he's going to make it. And also at tight end, I think Derek Carrier is going to be the number 2 guy.
Yep, I do too. Carrier's number 2. Foster Moreau as number 3 because he's a draft pick. I don't think they're gonna cut a draft pick that they were looking at. So Waller's number 1, Carrier's number 2, Moreau is number 3. I don't think they're gonna keep Wilson. I think that the only person that might have an outside shot, I think Butler will be able to possibly go to the practice squad. I think Wilson's long in the tooth. I don't think he's practice squad eligible anyway. Figure Butler might be that tight end that makes the practice squad.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then and as far as the linebackers, I think Markel Lee, he's going to make it. Of course, we know the veterans, Marshall, Vontez Burfict, and of course.
Whitehead.
Whitehead, yes. Those would be the 3 stars. But I think Lee, I think Nicholas Morrow is probably on the bubble. And I guess Kabinda might be on the bubble too.
Yeah, but I think that if you're gonna keep 6 linebackers, those are the guys that you keep. I think that Coney would be a good guy to have on the practice squad. Remember, he was a stalwart at Notre Dame, but he was not drafted for some reason. So if Coney is practice squad, there you go. You got Koa Farmer. That could be practice squad. And if there's somebody else, I really don't know who it is. So, and you got James Cowser, but I think Cowser's a casualty.
Yeah, he's definitely gone. And then I think as far as quarterback, I think Glennon is going to beat out Peterman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he looks real good. I know he threw those 2 picks in the first game, but he still looks like he has command of the offense. And I would feel comfortable if, something were to happen to Carr, Glennon.
Don't say it. Don't say it. No jinxies. No jinxing. No jinxing, man. No jinxing.
I shouldn't say that.
La. I don't hear that. No. I know what you're saying. And I agree. I like what Peterman can bring, but like Gruden was saying to Peterman, he's a church mouse, and he needs to be more assertive. He needs to know the playbook better. And yeah, Glennon has more of a grasp of the playbook than Peterman does. I think that maybe I'm pretty sure Peterman might be practice squad eligible, so maybe another year on the practice squad. I don't think Gruden wants to get rid of Peterman, no. But if he can't put him on the roster, and if he can't put him on practice squad, then sorry, Nate. We'll see if we can figure out. If God forbid we need you. But I know Gruden likes Peterman, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep him.
Yeah. And two of the safeties, I don't think Eric Harris. I don't think he's going to make it. Based on what I've seen, I don't think he'll make the team this year, Eric Harris.
Well, yeah, he's playing a lot of time in the fourth quarter, so
yeah,
you know it's unfortunate. But you know what? I also have not seen 42. What's his nose? The kid out of West Virginia.
He played actually. He started last game.
Okay, well, I haven't seen a lot out of him, so yeah, I wanted to see what type, because I tell you, Abram is going to be there. And he's going to be playing a lot of good snaps. Harris, I think Harris might make it over Levitt. Levitt is going to be a casualty. Harris might still make it. You got let me see. You got LaMarcus Joyner, who's definitely going to make it. Obviously Abram, Harris. I think Harris might be, he's on the bubble, but he might make it over pretty much anybody else that I can. Joseph, thank you there, Jerry. I knew the number, I just couldn't remember the name. You got Joseph that's going to be there as well. So you got what? Abram, Joyner, Joseph. Harris is going to, it might be 4 or 5. We'll see.
Yeah. And another guy that I just don't understand what's going on with is Eddie Vanderdoes. What's the status with this guy?
He had a concussion the last time I checked. I haven't heard from him or about him since he had a concussion. So unless he's playing and we're not hearing about it, then I think that Eddie Vanderdoes is Eddie Vandergone.
Yeah. No, he didn't play the first 2 games. Unless he plays this weekend, I don't know. It's just he's a 3rd round pick. You would think that I know he's been injured, but you'll get in the mix of those D tackles, but you just don't see him on the field.
Yeah, I mean, Westbrook's will definitely. I mean, Westbrook's playing well. Rush had a really good first game, but he was kind of not really as well. I want to say accredited his second game. He played a really phenomenal first game, but again, last game wasn't as tight. We'll see. But yeah, I think actually Jelly Ellis, unless he really shows something, he might be on the way out too.
Oh, wow. You think he'll...
I mean,
they had him penciled into the first teamer, but of course, I don't know if that means anything. But
yeah, I mean, I tell you what, the fact is that you have Hall and Hurst that are definitely going to be there. You got Westbrook that's been playing quite well. Okay, Jelly Ellis, maybe, but I put him as a first teamer. I don't know, man. Like I said, I think that. Even though they got him listed as a first teamer, I don't know whether that is, shall we say, roster truth or not. I haven't really seen a lot out of him. Maybe no. They're not playing him because they don't want to put him out there risking injury. But I heard that he came to camp a little bit heavy too, just like P.J. Hall did. Now P.J. Hall has been playing well. So I think that PJ flipped the switch on him, and I don't think he'll have an issue keeping on the roster. But unless there's some transition with Jelly Ellis I don't know about, I'm not totally convinced that he makes the roster.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, like you said, Rush, the guy, he had that good first game, but this past game, he looked like he was just out of shape. He didn't do anything against Arizona.
Yeah,
I didn't see anything. So, but I mean, I like what I see so far, but I don't want to get overexcited because I know that, I know one year we went 4-0 preseason and we didn't do anything. So I just, hopefully we, I know we're going to be better than, last year, but I'm not sure what our record will be because all those road games, that's tough.
Yeah. And like I said, I want to see, I mean, the optic test is when I go to these games and I see what I see in front of me. The first game that I'm going to be actually watching from the TV is going to be the London game as of right now. Now, I might not go to the first game. I mean, I'm pretty much sure going through the first 4. But, things happen. I might, with all these other things that come on, I might not be able to go. But I want to see optically what I can see, how these guys are playing, and we'll see how I feel. Like I said, when we come into the break at week 6, I'll have a better idea of if I think this team is going to exceed my expectations or if my expectations are just about right. I'm thinking 7-9 is a given, but if anything is better than that, I'll have to see it.
Yeah. It's just that's the schedule it's just too brutal. I don't know. That's going almost what is it, like 7 weeks or so without a home game.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yep.
So I've never seen that before. So I don't know. But hopefully, I mean, I'm like I said, 7-9, 8-8. I'm happy with that.
Right. Remember, 8-8 is 100% improvement.
Yeah. But as far as playoffs, I mean, that remains to be seen. So, but I think it will be a good season, definitely, and be a lot of improvements. And I definitely see the difference in the way the players are playing. We definitely the players are buying in. So we got Gruden's got the players that he wants. So that's the bright side.
Yeah, I mean, there are going to be so many cuts of players that are going to find a way to other teams because we have so overall. Now, I think we're a little bit thin at depth at offensive tackle behind the top 2. But I see overall there's so much good depth on this team that people that we don't keep are going to find their way onto other rosters.
Exactly, yeah. And I have to say one observation I've seen, and I know Gruden won a Super Bowl, of course, with Tampa and, took us to the playoffs a few times. But if you look at, like, as far as overall, like you said, depth, I don't think he's ever had a roster this deep before.
No.
And as all his coaching career.
Yeah. I mean, even when he was had the teams that he had, remember his last game coaching as a Raider coach prior to last year, the Tuck Rule game, the depth on that roster was not as I'll use the word awesome. I don't know. I got to get an adjective out there. The 53 players that he has now, I think, are better than what we had even when we went to the Super Bowl with Callahan. I think we have a better 53 right now, or whatever the 53 that we will have eventually is better than our last Super Bowl team when you look at it from top to bottom.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, definitely. Because you look at the team that, did go to the Super Bowl. We really basically only had, 3 receivers, Porter and Rice and Brown. That's it. And after that, it was really nothing.
Yeah.
Now we have, at least 8 or 9 receivers that could actually make the team. So,
yeah.
So it's definitely done a good job, and Mayock. So I definitely see like the other caller said, I definitely see a Super Bowl. I'd like to see it next year here. That'd be great for us to see it.
Oh, hell yeah, 2021 Super Bowl. That's right. Be first year first year in Vegas, and a Super Bowl in Tampa for 2021. I most definitely would love to see that. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I think that's possible if if things go in the right direction. This year I just think it's a process, I think. So, but I could see them making that jump next year if that's possibly.
Yeah, remember it was Gruden 1.0. It was 8-8, 8-8, and then it was 12-4.
Yeah, exactly. So, yep. So, and of course, so I'm still waiting. I know you're still getting things together, and we're waiting to see that your version of the black hole at your residence there.
I tell you, Mike, I swear I haven't forgotten it. I will definitely. I'm chomping at the bit, and when I can get things done, like I said, I need to get the patio done first, because I got to move things out of my garage onto the patio, and in the process of moving as I move things, and then I'm going to talk to that interior designer. I will say this though, I'm really I still feel not quite 100%, given that lady a big chunk, being the fact that I got screwed over, and you've been following Channel 8 with that a-hole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And giving anybody a big chunk of money, it just, to me, I just don't feel good about it. But unfortunately, you got to do it. I guess I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. Well, definitely. I'm looking forward to it. I know you got a lot on your plate right now, so I'm sure we'll definitely, link up sometime this season.
We will. Like I said, hopefully it'll be now. If it just comes down to it, I know I'm not going out to Denver. And I got to see when that last game is. I'm thinking that even the Tennessee game, I'm not going to go to Tennessee, or not going to go out for the Tennessee games. I think I'm going to a wedding instead. But I know the next game is the next game, I believe, is the last game in Oakland, which is the Jacksonville game. And then the last two are on the road, so I think it might be December, but we'll have a shindig for sure.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. Oh, one other thing too. Are you still doing the podcast with Angria and Big L? Are you doing that this year?
Big L was doing stuff with that gentleman who shall remain nameless.
Yeah. Okay.
And I haven't spoken with Andrea since my mom's death, so I really got to touch base with her. I'd love to do it, but I got to make sure that she's still available. I'd love to do it, and if not, and it's bad, if I can't do it with Andrea, if I can find somebody great to do it with, I'll do it, or do it by myself. But yeah, I will do a podcast once I get my schedule squared away.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. Well, like I said, I was just definitely wanted to just touch base with you and see what your thoughts are about the roster there. So I guess the game we played in Canada, is that going to be Thursday or this weekend game? I don't know. It's Saturday.
No, it's a Thursday game up in Manitoba.
Okay. So that's the same field the Winnipeg Jets play on. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, or the Winnipeg Bombers, whatever that CFL team is.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers, I believe.
Yeah.
The Jets were the hockey team.
Hockey team, yeah, I got it mixed up. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I knew you knew who you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I will definitely, definitely be checking in with you, and it's good talking to you. I'm glad you're doing well, and I look forward to the season, and I guess to your next show too.
Well, like I said, as long as I get my sound down, I got to work with Homer, because the next thing I got to do is I got to have this capability of OBS put on my laptop because I got to have this when I'm going out for the games. And once I get that squared away, then I'll feel really good about what's going on.
Okay. Well, that sounds good then, Jack. Well, you have a good weekend. I guess definitely I'll be talking to you soon, and definitely go Raiders.
Go Raiders. Hey, thanks again for calling, Mike. Always good hearing from you.
Okay. Yeah, same here.
All right. Take care.
Okay. All right.
Bye. Bye-bye. That's my boy, Mike Arline. And we've been on, we're going on 2 hours, 45 minutes. Not that I'm counting. But I will give to see if anybody is there. We can have you come on. But otherwise, I know that other than Ed, I know Ed was on earlier. He said that he would be back. Hopefully get a chance to hear from Ed. Not sure if Ed's still out there. We'll see. But always a pleasure. We'll see. Now I'm waiting. When it gets to 12:05. If it gets to 12:05, then I know I'm going to be pumping out, and we'll see if it works. Because so far everything has been pretty much on the tick. So it looks like, and hopefully so, we'll have a really good session here. Not quite 12:05. I don't see any other phone callers. I don't know if you're gonna call. Oh, one thing I would like to let everybody know is that I did hear from Houston Steve Hawes, and he was at Cliff Branch's memorial service. Had a really nice story, but I don't want to say what his story was. I want to make sure that I give him the right to express what was going on. And it was unique. So when I get a chance to have another show, we'll do that. So having said that, and just right on the tip, it's been a pleasure. It's always nice to stay out here and hang out with y'all. Make sure, like I said, if you're here and you haven't had a chance to do it yet, take the link and push it out. Like I said, I want to make sure that we get as many people over from Facebook to here, because I want to have more callers. I want to have more people we get a chance to talk with and get the word out. You know, the captain is back and enjoying being here and hanging with you. So, in case hasn't been said, thank you for joining me again. Look for this show. I'm not sure if hopefully all good things will happen. We'll start doing the regular shows. You know, Thursday for sure. If I do my podcast, like Mike was talking about, we'll do a podcast starting on Wednesday. I gotta get squared away with Andrea on that. See if we're doing that. So figure podcast Wednesday, show Thursday, show Sunday, show on Tuesday when I get back from the game is what I'm thinking it's going to be. But we'll make sure, and we'll hopefully have it down, that'll be the regular lineup. So until then, have a great night, and we'll see you on our next show. Take care. Yarg! Captain Jack.